you're in the losers bracket now, though. As we mentioned, the winner of this game gets Buffalo. This game is not going to be as much about the offenses as it is about the pitching. It's survival of the fittest now, and you have to throw whatever you got left in the pitching tank. You've got to throw out there tonight.
Yep, there is leave no doubt tonight, and there is no tomorrow for one of these two teams. You got to lay it all on the line, and it starts tonight. Both Mann and Tug Valley's backs are against the wall. For the past 2 seasons, Mann's backs against the wall for earlier than what they usually expected. 2021, I think they had a clean sweep in the their sectional tournament. 2022, they lost the sectional championship game to Sherman and had to come back here for the winner-take-all contest, and Mann was lucky to defeat Sherman, and they went on to the regional championships where they beat Wahama in 2021, lost to Wahama in 2022, and Bill, looking at the Metro News with all the scorers around the states, Wahama fell behind to Ravenswood, and now Ravenswood is in the driver's seat to win Region 4, Section 2.
They were in the driver's seat last year. Wahama come back and beat them twice, coming out of the losers bracket to do so, and they're going to look to do the same thing again this year if they are to advance back to Charleston for a second consecutive season. And same thing for the Hillbillies. If they're to get to Charleston for the second time in 3 years, then Mann is going to have to come out of the losers bracket going to have to come out of the losers bracket to get to tomorrow's game, and then do it again on Saturday to force that winner take all on Monday.
And Monday is an important day for both of these ball clubs. Is now if the winner of this will travel down to Putnam County to face Buffalo, where you have to win twice now. You can't afford no more error. When it comes to postseason, the most games you can actually afford to lose is 2 within sectionals and regional just combined. You can lose up to 2, but a team doesn't want to lose any games. So both teams already have 1 loss under their belt. Someone's going to have their second loss in sectional tournament, and there goes their hard work this season. But it won't be for nothing. They all have really laid it on the line, especially Tug Valley. Tug Valley has really put together a solid postseason. They're hitting the ball well. They stunned the Sherman Tide. They almost upset the number 1 seed in Buffalo in the sectional tournament. So Tug Valley's having a magical ride, and Tug Valley's coach is looking to continue that ride tonight against the Mann Hillbillies. He told me that in order for his team to win, they're hitting the ball right, but he says his pitching staff has got to come together in order to shut down the Mann bats that can get hot at any time throughout any inning in a ball game.
Clouds are clearing up here at William Tootie Carter Field. When I got here, it just started sprinkling a little bit. The rain has held off, but I did have a chance to talk with Mike Crosby and the umpiring crew before the contest tonight, and they voted on in the sectionals that they put it in the bylaws that if this game was rained out for today, rainouts don't count towards a day's rest. So if this game was rained out, both teams, number 1 and number 2, would not be eligible for Saturday. If it's rained out on Saturday, Sunday would count as a day's rest, meaning that if they got to Monday, if this game is rained out and pushed back till Monday, both teams, number 1s, would be available on Monday.
Yep, and we're supposed to have rain this weekend. For baseball fans, I'm going to try to knock on wood right now. Hopefully that doesn't jinx everything. As the worst enemy when it comes to the postseason is not the other side of the opponent, it's the weather. Because when you have an ace pitcher that you can see, that you've seen in the field, and you struggled with him, and you're thinking, oh, thank Lord we don't have to deal with him anymore in the sectionals and the regionals. But then when it comes to rain time, that carries over his days, and they will be eligible to see them again. So everybody wants to try to get all these game ins. You see all these coaches around this, especially around the southern part, but around the state as well. They're trying to get these games in fast so they can have the privilege of not really going to see another team's ace if they struggled against them. So everyone wants to get these games in as fast as possible where there is no delays, because you got to go with what you got, and what you prepared for all season leads up to these moments in sectionals and regionals.
Well, I'll tell you why both coaches and I'll tell you why all the coaches in the region decided to go that route and not count this rain out as a day's rest is because there's teams that would certainly water their field down just to say they couldn't play, just so they can get another day's rest for their pitching. Mm-hmm. And you may think that sounds crazy, but it has happened before. It happens in football and it happens in baseball. And now that you're in postseason play, you throw out that element of surprise, you could say.
Yep, you can't throw that surprise. You can't go with the old style play of anything that can happen. You can throw in that little I guess you call it a cheat sheet, everything.
The grounds crewman, the head grounds crew just left sprinklers on overnight, or the janitor forgot to turn them off.
The longest yard where the cons need the field and they go water it down. They water it down so they couldn't practice, and they had their own schoolyard fun.
It has happened.
It has happened. I mean, you can have fun in the wet rain, and luckily, it's not downpouring like what we thought it was going to be. Whenever I left Logan, it was kind of starting to get a little heavy. And luckily, it's kind of moved away, and hopefully it stays away so we can get this ball game in and get ready for tomorrow morning at 1 o'clock. There's going to be baseball games, sectional championships all around the state. Logan will be playing the winner of tonight's Chapmanville and Wayne. We will keep you updated on all those scores throughout the entire game and keep you updated on who wins. And then you also got the updates with on the other side of the section with Wahama and Ravenswood, as that's a big time matchup.
Actually, Wahama's got Calhoun County tonight. The winner gets Ravenswood tomorrow. But again, I've got to pick on you. There you go with that tomorrow morning 1 p.m. thing again.
I'm going to keep saying it. I don't care. I'll keep saying it. I mean, I'm superstitious as can be. That's why I probably want to wear the exact same unit. I know this might sound crazy to you, Bill, but every time Logan has won a state championship these past 2 years, I wore the exact same outfit that they won. Now, you tell me crazy superstitious. I was doing that.
I hope you washed it.
Yes, I did. I did. Well, it wasn't the exact same shirt that the following day. It was just the same uniform, the different
I had 2 shirts. Getting back, I thought you was going to say 1 p.m. to yourself was morning, because that's might be your wake up call on a Saturday afternoon. I don't. To me, it's an afternoon.
Hey, you have 4 dogs that runs through the night and want to wake you up in the middle of the night. 1 p.m. is your morning rooster call.
All right, as for tonight, we got Mann and Tug Valley here tonight. Got a pitching matchup of Cam Gerace on the mound for the Hillbillies, taking on the Tug Valley pitcher Elijah Flutie tonight. Flutie hasn't thrown very many innings this season, Daniel. As you know, we got a report from Randy Lackey, who happens to keep up with the game changer for Tug Valley, and he said really they haven't had a need to use Flutie this season. Well, now he's going to get his chance to be used this season. As you look at his numbers, he's only thrown, what I see on by Max Preps, 2 2/3 innings tonight. So that's all he's thrown this season. So he's getting thrown in right away. He's got an earned run average of 7.87 in 4 appearances this season.
Yep, that's not much you would see out of a pitcher that you would have to put into a do or die situations. But where Tug Valley situations, they've been throwing all their best and having to beat the best competition that they've seen. They threw it against Buffalo, almost pulled off that upset win against Buffalo. They threw almost every pitcher that they had against Sherman to get an 8-7 slugfest against the Sherman Tide. And now Flutie's turn on the mound. And Bill, the last time we saw Flutie on the mound for myself was down when Tug Valley played Logan. He came in to relieve for Connor Lackey, but he only threw I think an inning pitch before the game inning game, before the game got rained out.
I believe he came in the second inning to relief from Lackey. May actually came in to start the second inning. I can't quite remember what it was when he came in, but nevertheless he did come in for a little bit of time. But again, that game was wiped out because of weather, and the stats were wiped out as well, as the stats didn't count. So right now, while we got this opportunity We'll go over the starting lineups for the Tug Valley Panthers. Catcher Julian Vance will lead off. Braden Dotson, the second baseman, bats second. First base tonight, Connor Lackey hits third. In the cleanup spot for the Panthers is the center fielder, Dakota Uten. He bats fourth. Batting fifth is the pitcher, Elijah Floody. Zachary Hall, the right fielder, hits sixth. Batting seventh, left fielder, Austin Smith. Shortstop, Gage Witt, will hit eighth. And batting ninth, the third baseman, Chandler Copley.
Batting fifth, tonight's pitcher, number 25.
Now for the Mann High School Hillbillies. Leading off will be third baseman Bo Thompson. Jace Atkins is in right field and will bat second. Colton Miller, the center fielder, hits third. Cam Gerace will be on the mound for the Hillbillies, and he bats fourth. Batting fifth, first baseman Caden Dickerson. Hitting sixth, shortstop Braxton Messer. Behind the plate, John McCoy. Hitting seventh, left fielder Hunter Gibson bats eighth. And batting ninth, designated hitter Braden Compton. Compton is hitting for the second baseman, Gavin Klein. Now time for our keys to the game. And Daniel, for Mann and Tug Valley, what's it going to take to get a win here tonight?
Both teams has got to, well, for Tug Valley, you got to continue hitting the ball. You got to be able to hit off the Mann pitchers of Cam Gerace. So it looks like we're going to see two pitchers tonight for Mann Hillbillies. I think that's what Mike Crosby's going to go with, is Cam Gerace and Braden Compton. So you got to be able to get off fast like you did against Buffalo and Sherman. You got to be able to hit the ball and try to keep pace with this game. Don't let this game get out of reach. For Mann, you got to do a better job hitting the ball. You didn't do a good job with Buffalo. It was a pitcher's duel all the way through the fifth inning, what Jack Daniels told me, and then it just got away from you. Braxton Messer walked some batters. They left runners on. They couldn't get really any chance, the momentum going, and that was due to the Buffalo pitching. So Mann's got to do a better job getting base runners on base and bringing them in.
Mann had difficulty getting runners on base because they only had one hit. That was a Caden Dickerson single in the third inning, I believe it was. In the fifth inning, a fifth inning single, Dickerson with one out, and they only had two other base runners. Hunter Gibson got on with a walk with one out in the fifth inning, and Jace Atkins was able to get on base by a walk in the sixth. Three base runners for the Mann High School Hillbillies in Wednesday's 5-0 loss to the Buffalo Bison. As Daniel mentioned, they got to get more runners on base here tonight and get them in when they do get the runners on. So we're just about set for first pitch here from William Tootie Carter Field between the Tug Valley Panthers and the Mann High School Hillbillies. So what we're going to do, we're going to step aside for a 2-minute break, and we'll come back and we'll have first pitch of this elimination game in the Class Single A Region 4 Section 1 baseball tournament on WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. the Class Single A, Region 4, Section 1, just about said Class Double A, because we will be there tomorrow night tomorrow afternoon, should say 1 p.m. on the island, as the Logan Wildcats look to wrap up their third consecutive sectional championship, and they will take on either the Chapmanville Tigers or the Wayne Pioneers tomorrow. But tonight we have Single A baseball action, Region 4, Section 1 tournament and elimination game between the Mann High School Hillbillies and the Tug Valley Panthers.
Yep, and Bill, we've already got some score updates for the Wahama and Calhoun County matchup. It is already 7-2 in the top of the fifth. Wahama leads Calhoun County, and Wahama wins that one. They'll play Ravenswood, and then the winner of this region will play either those two winners if Wahama can keep this score up.
No surprise there, as that's the top seed Wahama taking on the fourth seed Calhoun County Red Devils.
And Calhoun County is on that surprise team, like you mentioned. They knocked out the number 15 in the
number 17
Gilmer County, and that's a big time update. And now, Bill, speaking of an update, we got an update. 1-0 Wayne leads Chapmanville now going into the bottom of the first
inning. So the Pioneers get a run on the board in the first inning. Chapmanville coming to the bat. We'll keep you updated on those games and more as they become available to us here during our broadcast. But tonight we've got Tug Valley and Mann. We're just about set as Cam DeRace has completed his warm-up tosses, and now he's ready to face the leadoff hitter for the Panthers, Julian Vance. Vance on the season for the Panthers is batting .338 on the season. He is 26 for 77. He has 12 RBIs on the season, 6 doubles and a triple as part of his 26 hits, and he takes a pitch outside for a ball. 1-0 the count. His first pitch coming to you at 6:39 p.m.
A little late start than what we usually do, but we're getting set. We're here for baseball, and we're ready for our second pitch.
Pitch, low, ball 2, so the count now 2-0 to Vance.
This will be big for Tug Valley if they can get a leadoff runner on base and put pressure on Cam DeRace, the sophomore. As Bill, 3 of the 4 pitchers that Mann uses are underclassmen sophomores.
Pitch is hit back in the middle off the mound. Klein Fields throws over to Dickerson in time for out number 1. In the top half of the first inning, Braden Dotson will now be the batter for the Tug Valley Panthers, and the defense for the Mann High School Hillbillies looks like this. In the outfield, Hunter Gibson. In left field, Colton Miller. Center fielder, Jace Aggins. In right field, on the diamond for the Hillbillies on the left side, Bo Thompson at third. Shortstop, Braxton Messer. Over on the right side, Gavin Klein at second. Caden Dickerson at first. Catching for the Hillbillies, John McCoy for Cam DeRace. And we'll get to DeRace's numbers here in just a second. His first pitch to Dotson is a ball. 1-0 the count. Second pitch, swung on and hit to Thompson. Thompson will field it at third, throw across the diamond to Dickerson, and 2 away here very quickly in the Tug Valley first.
And just like that, Tug Valley's being aggressive at the plate is what I called that. That is big for Tug Valley, but they're hitting it right to the infield of Mann, and they're completing the plays, throwing over first on 4-3 ground out, now 5-3 ground out. Now Connor Lackey, the team's ace pitcher, who's not pitching tonight, see if he can get things started with a base hit here for the Tug Valleys with 2 outs.
Dotson was hitting .276 before that at bat, 21 for 46 on the year, 11 RBIs, and he had 3 doubles. Lackey takes a pitch for a ball. 1-0 the count to the first baseman, Connor Lackey, who is batting .256 on the season, 20 for 78. He has 12 RBIs, 7 doubles, and DeRace for the Hillbillies on the mound is 5-1 on the year. The pitch comes inside and it's fouled off. Count should be 1-1 or either 2-1. 2-1 to count.
And that is the first strike that Mann has gotten from Cam DeRace, because you look at the 3 batters, 3 pitches, or 2 balls to Mann.
The third strike he's thrown. That's the first strike that hasn't been put in play yet. 2-1 pitch on the way is outside for a ball. 3-1 to count to Lackey. Again, Cam DeRace 5-1 on the season. He's making his 6th start of the season, 14th appearance for the Hillbillies. He's got an ERA of 5 and has pitched 21 innings and given up 15 earned runs as Lackey takes a strike, count runs full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. DeRace, 26 strikeouts, 24 walks, and a hit batter. Those numbers are going to have to be minimal if Mann has any shot here tonight as Lackey fouls a 3-2 off onto the Little League field, and the count stays 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Lackey staying alive. He's doing a good job. He's trying to get that pitch count up high, knowing that Vance and Dotson had a short count and they grounded out, so he wants to try to battle, see if he can get Drace out and get some hits off of Drace.
3-2 on the way, swung on, hit in the right field. Jace Aggins ranging to his left will make the catch for out number 3, and the Tug Valley Panthers go down in order in the top half of the first inning. Hillbillies coming to bat in the bottom of the first inning, scoreless here at William 2D Carter Field. This is the Class Single A Region 4 Section 1 tournament on WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. Moved to the bottom of the first inning from William 2D Carter Field, Class Single A, Region 4, Section 1 baseball tournament. Scoreless heading to the bottom of the first. Tug Valley did nothing in the top half of the first. In fact, they went down in order. Now the Hillbillies coming to bat. Third baseman Bo Thompson leading off for the Hillbillies. And Thompson on the year is batting .459. He has 3 home runs, 27 RBIs. Thompson is 39 for 85 on the year and hitting leadoff for, I believe, the first time this season, maybe the first time in his high school career, as he takes a pitch for a ball from Elijah Flutie.
And what better way to get started if you're a man, having one of your best hitters leading off, try to move things fast.
Pitch inside, 2-0 the count to Thompson. As defensively for Tug Valley, Austin Smith is in left field, Dakota Uten center field, Zach Hall right field. We'll get to the infield after the 2-0 pitch from Flutie to Thompson, which is on its way, and it's in there for a called strike. 2-1. Now the count to Thompson. On the left side of the diamond of the infield, Chandler Copley at third, Gage Witt at short. Over on the right side, Braden Dotson at second, Connor Lackey at first. Julian Vance catching for Elijah Flutie as Thompson swings, hits one to short. Nice backhand stop there by Witt. Fields throws over in time to get Thompson one away in the Hillbilly home half of the first inning.
Good stretch by Gage Witt. He was able to get that one, and instead of not going past him into the outfield, he was able to corral that, and good throw over there to the lefty Connor Lackey. That's a big first out. One of Mann's best hitters now sat down, but now another great hitter for Mann, Jace Atkins, is coming to the plate. And Bill, we looked at the lineup. Colton Miller right behind him has moved up in the lineup, so maybe Crosby wants to go with heavy and speed to start in this game against Tug.
Atkins takes a pitch upstairs for a ball, 1-0 the count. The senior right fielder for the Hillbillies batting .405 on the year. He is 34 for 84 on the season. He has 4 home runs, 29 RBIs, 4 home runs tied for the team lead with John McCoy. And the 1-0 inside for a called strike, 1-1 the count. Atkins also has 7 doubles and 1 triple for the Hillbillies. So Atkins with 12 extra base hits for Mann. The pitch swung on, hit into the alley, out in right center field. There's not going to be a play on it. It's going to get to the fence. Atkins rounding first, heading for second, and he'll be in there with a sliding double. And the Hillbillies have a runner in scoring position with 1 out for Colton Miller, the center fielder.
Good start there for Jace Atkins, his first at-bat, and he got a double and Bill just a little bit higher and a little bit longer. Even though that's got that right field wall monster, it could have been going. If it was a little bit over to where the number 16 number is in the outfield, it could have been a home run. But big hit there for Jace Atkins to get things started, and now that brings up the speedy Colton Miller. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Crosby tries to use Colton Miller's legs to get on base and move Jace Atkins over to third.
Would you say they ought to look at the third baseman, Chandler Copley? He's up on the edge of the grass, but if Miller can get a bunt down with the left-handed pitcher here, it'll make it difficult for Flutie to field coming off the mound, being that he's a lefty. He's already going to the right side, so pitch on the way is outside, and Atkins taking off for third. The throw is in plenty enough time, but Atkins slides underneath the tag, and he's safe with the stolen base, and the Hillbillies with a runner in scoring position, or they already had a runner in scoring position. Now he just moves closer. He's at third base.
Big steal, big gamble there, and it paid off. Chandler Copley had enough time to make the tag. Just good job by Jace Atkins to get underneath it, and now 90 feet away from the plate is Jace Atkins, and the speedy Colton Miller is still at the plate.
1-0 the count. Could see a squeeze play here, and bunt is foul. Now the count runs to 0-2 to Miller as he was unable to get the bunt down. We'll see if they elect to keep the bunt on situation. But back to the stolen base attempt, Daniel. You mentioned Chandler Copley. From my vantage point, from what it looked like to me, Copley came up to catch the ball instead of letting the ball travel to him. And when he done so, that took him further away from the bag and gave the back part of the bag up for Jace Atkins. So 0-2 the count to Miller. Pitch on the way is in the dirt and gets by, but doesn't kick away far enough here to the small backstop at William Tootie Carter Field. 1-2 the count.
The small backstop can be, right now here at William Tootie Carter Field, is a pitcher's best friend because every ball usually gets away from the pitcher, just a little bit of dew or just get past the catcher, and it's just luckily for a short backstop that the runner at third doesn't advance. You don't see that much advancement from third to home with the short backstop.
1-2 on the way, and it's outside for a ball. 2-2 the count. But one thing you've got to defend at a small backstop here is if you're a catcher, you've got to be careful when you turn around that ball, because if it's in the dirt, that thing could become like a skee ball when it hits up a ramp and shoots up in the air, and you've got to make a quick decision there. I've seen that happen a number of times here. So 2-2 pitch on the way is outside. 3-2 now the count to Colton Miller.
And with runners at the corners, if Colton Miller can get on base, you could see a double steal happening from Coach Daniels and Mike Crosby. So this at-bat is huge for Elijah Flutie to try to strike out Miller and get out number 2.
3-2, 1 out, no score here. Pitch on the way upstairs, and there's ball 4, and the Hillbillies have a pair of runners aboard. The runner at third base, Atkins, and now Miller will take his base after the base on balls at first. Cam Gerace coming to the plate. Gerace with an opportunity to help himself here and stake the Hillbillies out to an early lead here in the bottom of the first inning. Again, Elijah Flutie is making his 5th appearance on the season. He's got 5 strikeouts, 9 walks on the season. Now make it 10 after the walk to Colton Miller. The left-hander is only thrown in 2 2/3 innings, and Miller will dance off the mound, and he will take second base without a throw as Tug Valley just let him have the base. So,
and Bill, we got a score update down at Ted Ellis Field. It is tied at 1 between Chapmanville and Wayne in the top of the second.
We'll keep you updated on scores as they come in, and Gerace will take a pitch outside for a ball. 1-0 the count to the pitcher for the Mann High School Hillbillies. Gerace is hitting .321 on the season. He is 27 for 84. He has 17 RBIs. He's looking to get in 18, maybe 19 with a hit here in the bottom half of the first inning. Pitch on the way is outside, and then it gets off the glove and off the fence of the catcher, but no advancement by the runners at second nor third. 2-0 the count.
And right now, Flutie is just having a hard time getting that strike zone. He was doing a pretty good job with Colton Miller and Bo Thompson. Jace Atkins got that double, and it kind of killed Flutie's just confidence just a little bit. But Flutie needs to settle in and try to work every batter at a time, knowing that you got two runners in scoring position.
Pitch on the way, swung on a miss by Gerace as he was just out in front of that pitch. 2-1 the count to Gerace now with Caden Dickerson, the first baseman, in the on-deck circle for the Mann High School Hillbillies.
Caden Dickerson, like you mentioned, got that only hit for Mann down at Buffalo, so his confidence is starting to build up at the right time and see if he can continue it here tonight. Right now, this is a big bat for Elijah Flutie if he can get Gerace out.
Pitch on the way, Gerace shows bunt. He gets it down. Here comes Jace Atkins to score the run. The throw will get away, and that's going to allow Colton Miller to come in and score. So the Hillbillies take an early 2-0 lead on the squeeze bunt off the bat of Cam Gerace. Credit Gerace with a sacrifice and an RBI and a throwing error by the pitcher Flutie to allow Miller to come in and score. And now we'll get a courtesy runner. That's Landon Cantrell, the freshman.
Landon Cantrell's coming in to run, and we get a mound visit by Tug Valley's coach, Coach Hall, and he's going to talk it over with this infield to tell them to settle down. It's just one play. Keep fighting. Keep doing. Do what you have done that got you into this position this way. You almost beat Buffalo. You did beat Sherman. Now you're facing a very tough Mann Hillbillies team that, according it feels like Mann feels like they should have been the 1 seed, so Mann's playing with a little bit of vendetta right now, and they want their revenge against Buffalo, but before they can get that, they got to beat Tug Valley tonight. So Coach Hall's telling him, hey, settle down, try to take this one batter at a time, don't worry about the mistakes, just limit them and try to get out of this inning without giving up more damage.
2-0 the score as Mann has struck first, and they still bat here in the bottom of the first inning with one out. Dickerson coming to the plate, and as Daniel mentioned, Dickerson had that long hit in Wednesday's 5-0 loss to the Buffalo Bison as Cantrell dances off the bag, gets back, and pitches a ball outside, 1-0 the count to Dickerson, who is hitting .337 on the season. He is 28 for 83. He has 17 RBIs on the season. He also has 3 doubles. So 1-0 the count. Flutie's pitch. Cantrell takes off, and the pitch is fouled off at the plate. Cantrell will have to go back to first base. 1-1 the count.
That was a good jump by Landon Cantrell. Just unfortunate that Dickerson fouled it off, because I think if Dickerson maybe wouldn't have touched that, Cantrell would have been standing on second without a throw. That's how Cantrell is important to this team. He's got those legs, and he's only a young freshman and high motor for this Hillbilly ball club.
Pitch on the way is swung on and fouled just in front of us, and nearly come back and got the bat of Dickerson off the ricochet off the fence. So 1-2 the count.
That would have been funny if it had got that ricochet off of Dickerson's back, because you usually don't see that when it hit the bat twice. Usually the funniest time I see it when a bench warmer, when someone tries to duck out of the way and the ball hits the bat and it stays fair. So luckily nothing was hurt there, but 1-2 count, and Flutie needs this strikeout more than anything to try to limit the damage for Mann. The Mann is on a roll right now if they can keep this up.
1-2, 1 out, runner at first base, throw over, and Cantrell dives back in safely without a tag over at first base.
And I'll tell you what, lefties are it is hard to steal first off of a lefty, because they have that just easy side to look at first, and they can easily just throw over there, where when you're a right-handed pitcher, you have to make that turn to first. Lefties don't have to make that turn. So Cantrell's got to be careful with the lefty Flutie on the mound.
Well, if Cantrell's going as he is on that pitch, Dickerson swings and sends a foul ball out of play along the left side. Cantrell will go back to first base. But again, the point that I was making, with a left-hander on the mound, if you're going to steal on the pitch against a lefty, you're going to steal on first movement, because typically he's got to come over to first base once he makes that move. Now, if you're on second base, it's kind of different. He can pick that leg up and turn and try a pickoff attempt at second. But when you're on first, you're taught to go on first movement with a lefty on the mound. So 1-2, 1 out. We'll see if Cantrell's moving on the pitch again. He's not, and it's in the dirt for ball 2. 2-2 the count.
And still scoreless. Still tied at 1-1 on the mound for Chapmanville and Wayne. And Bill, on the mound for the Chapmanville Tigers is Andrew Farley getting the start.
Could be a staff day for the Tigers. They could be using Farley for 2, come with Plumley, come with Dalton, and then maybe throw Moore in there as well, as they have a plethora of pitches as Cantrell's moving again. And yet again, Dickerson fouls the pitch off, so 2-2 the count.
Dickerson is having a battle with Flutie at the plate right now. Flutie's already up to 23 pitches in this first inning. And, Bill, that's not what Coach Hall wanted. He wanted to try to limit his pitcher's arm as much as he can to reserve it and try to use it into the inning, because if Flutie goes the distance, Tug Valley's going to have to go with pitchers they haven't used all year.
Throw over, nothing doing as Cantrell dives back in safely. 23 pitches for Flutie in his first inning, as Daniel mentioned. I'm sure if Tug Valley would like to, they'd like for him to limit the damage and get out of here, get out of this inning 35 pitches or less. They'd like for him to roll a ground ball here and get 2 outs and get out here with 24 pitches if he can do that. So 2-2 pitch is on the way. Cantrell breaks, and yet again, Dickerson fouls the pitch off. So Landon Cantrell's getting a workout over at first base.
He is. He has to go and then go back. Then he's going again, go back. He's doing wind sprints, and that tells you how good shape that young man is in. And Dickerson, he's just fighting off with Flutie. This is a good battle, and the man dugout is getting a cheer out of this too. He knows how important this bat is.
2-2 on the way. He's outside. It gets by the catcher to the backstop. Cantrell takes off, and he's going to be safe on the wild pitch. So now the Hillbillies with the runner in scoring position, and Dickerson with a 3-2 count.
Full count now, and all it takes is one base hit for Caden Dickerson to score the speedy Cantrell from second. As Bill, for those who are listening back at home, just tell them how unique Landon Cantrell's pitching motion is, that if it comes down to it, we could see Cantrell pitch tonight.
If we see Cantrell, we're going to see an overhand, we're going to see sidearm, we're going to see submarine, we're going to see 3/4. We've seen about 3 or 4 different varieties from Cantrell in that game on April 15th at Logan, as Dickerson now walks, and that's the second walk of the inning issued by Elijah Flutie, and Braxton Messer, the shortstop, the batter for Mann High School.
Elijah Flutie gives up another walk. That's his second walk of the day, and Braxton Messer, a shortstop who's been everywhere in the lineup. He's led off. He's been close to the bottom. Now he's coming in at the 6th hole, and he's a sharp hitter for Mann, so you can't be giving him any pitches he will love.
Pitches inside for a ball. 1-0 the count. May actually been up as well. So 1-0 the count to Messer, who's hitting .371 on the season, 33 for 89, a home run, a triple, a double, 18 RBIs, and a chance to add to that total with a base hit here. And Cantrell at second base. Pitch, squares the bunt, pulls back, takes the ball. 2-0 the count. Now that pitch count at 28 pitches for Elijah Flutie.
And that pitch count is getting worrisome for Coach Hall. That, Bill, like you said, 3 mound visits for the coach, and the pitcher in one inning has to come out. He's already took 1. I don't think he'll go 3 unless this gets really out of shape, but I think the second one could be the one that pulls him.
I think I agree with you there, as that pitch is upstairs for ball 3-0 the count to Messer. The next mound visit that we see from Tug Valley will probably result in a pitching change early in this contest, something that they had hoped to avoid, and they can still avoid that here. Again, one pitch can get him out of the inning. He can get a double play ball here, as 3-0 Messer is taking all the way, and he takes a strike. 3-1 to count.
And right now for Flutie, he needs to see 2 more of those. He needs 2 more of those in order to get out of a short jam here. But if he walks bases loaded, John McCoy's right behind him. And Bill, we know what happened when John McCoy faced a Tug Valley pitcher. He put one out of the park.
Yeah, the grand slam is part of a 10-run 7th innings. Messer shows bunt again, pulls back, and pops it up. We'll see if the catcher or the first baseman's going to have to play. Neither one will, as it pushes out of play. Now the count runs full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Again, that game with Tug Valley, the first meeting between these two teams was a 13-3 win for the Mann High School Hillbillies. Mann led that game 3-2 going into the 7th inning, and they erupted for 10 runs in the 7th inning with a pair of grand slams off the bat of John McCoy and Braxton Messer, which Messer's was an inside the park grand slam, I think I've been told. Now the 3-2 on the way, swung on, fouled again, and the count remains 3-2. And I don't know if that was a ball that was thrown back in or if that was a ball that was stuck in the fence, but when Messer fouled that pitch off, there's a ball that just shot right back at the pitcher. So I don't know if somebody from Little League Field threw it in again, folks, or if that ball was stuck in the fence somewhere, that it was just jarred loose off of Messer's foul ball. Again, something I've never seen before.
Nope. And just like what we haven't seen before, a broken bat at the handle down with GW, and I don't think we'll see that.
The George Washington guy. Now, the runner from second breaks on the pitch. Don't know if that was designed or if that was just Cantrell not realizing that there was one out and thinking there was two outs. But Messer fouls the pitch off out of play again. And now Flutie has thrown 33 pitches, and Messer's still alive in the count, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Dickerson and Messer have both went the distance for the pitcher, for Elijah Flutie, almost both having 10 pitches each between them. Right now, Flutie needs to get this out for Tug Valley.
Pitch on the way, swung on and popped up on the infield. Infield fly in effect as the batter will be out. And the second baseman, Braden Dotson, will make the catch for out number 2.
The infield fly rule comes
Now
into
batting for
effect.
the
That
Hillbillies,
is
the
big
catcher,
there
number
for
43, John
Elijah
McCoy.
Flutie to try to keep this going. And now John McCoy comes to the plate. And we mentioned John McCoy can put one out. He did it one against Tug Valley. He'd like to do it again. But this would be a big out and big jam for escape jam for Elijah Flutie if he can get out of this inning without really going over 40 pitches.
It's 2 outs. John McCoy, the batter, the catcher for the Hillbillies. Again, shares the team lead with Jace Aggins with 4 home runs. He's knocked in 20. That is, looking at third on the team behind Aggins. Yeah, behind Jace Aggins and Bo Thompson. Aggins with 29, Thompson with 25. McCoy's hitting just under 300 at 299. He is 20 for 67. So a base hit here will get McCoy's average up over 300 as the first pitch is a ball, 1-0 the count. 1-0 pitch on the way, and McCoy swings and sends a shot down the third base line, but foul. Count runs to 1 ball, 1 strike, and 36 pitches now for Elijah Flutie. So he's, flirting with that 40-pitch threshold in the first inning. But again, 1 pitch will get him out of the inning as we have 2 outs here.
Yep, and that one just went out of the third base line, and that was a good shot by John McCoy. See if he can try to do that again and bring home the runners. If he can do that again and get that to stay fair, that's going to score 2. Because Dickerson will run to third, just depend on how far the ball goes and gets away from the left fielder.
1-1, 2 outs. Pitch from Flutie to McCoy is high and outside. 2-1. Now the count to McCoy. Dickerson runner at first, and the courtesy runner Landon Cantrell, the runner at second for the pitcher Cam Gerace.
And 38 pitches coming now for Elijah Flutie, and it's just frustrating if you're Tug Valley fans, and just to see that Mann's doing a good job and Flutie just can't get that last out. He needs it out in a worst way possible.
Pitch number 39 is ball 3, so Flutie will go to pitch number 40 in the first inning. Again, Tug Valley without 3 pitchers tonight, actually make it 4 pitchers tonight, because of the pitch count. Connor Lackey, Dakota Uten, Austin Smith, and Zach Hall, as pitch number 40 is ball 4, and the bases are loaded for Hunter Gibson, the left fielder.
Our friend Hunter Gibson. Bill, is our friend Hunter Gibson's in the studio tonight?
No, we got Seth Eastep tonight, as Hunter Gibson has the night off in the WVOW studios. Hunter was our engineer last night, but, Seth Eastep, one of the all-star producers that we have back in the studios back at WVOW, and we're going to get a pitching change early, and we kind of thought we would see this if he, if Flutie continued to struggle with his command, and we do get a pitching change as after 40 pitches Flutie exits the game. So if Tug Valley was fortunate to win this game tonight, Flutie would have to set out. Actually, no, I think he could come. No, I'm right. He'd have to set out a day because 31 to 50 pitches is the one-day threshold in West Virginia high school baseball. If you throw 0 to 30, then you can come back the next day.
Gage Witt now will have the opportunity to come to the mound for Tug Valley. As you look at Elijah Flutie's day, he struck out no batters. He walked 2 batters. He allowed 1 hit, and he's gave up 2 total runs to come across the plate for the Mann Hillbillies. Against the Mann Hillbillies. And now we turn to Gage Witt, the young freshman for the Tug Valley Panthers. And I seen him playing in the Logan Junior League this past summer, and he's got a good fastball. Just where he's so young, it's just hard to control the fastball, but he's starting to build something with his arm, and he's going to try to get out of this jam right now as it's still in the bottom of the first with only 2 outs against this Tug Valley team. So right now the third out is desperate for Tug Valley.
So Flutie goes 2/3 of an inning in the contest tonight. He, as of right now, has given up 2 runs. Both of them are earned. He is responsible for the runners on the base paths as the bases are loaded for the Mann High School Hillbillies. Flutie gave up just the 1 hit. That was a double off the bat of Jay Saggins. No strikeouts. He walked 3.
And, Bill, we got some, for those listening back home, can't find the Chapmanville and Wayne game. It's tied at 1, but bases are loaded in the bottom of the second for Chapmanville with only 1 out, and Luke Knight is coming to the plate.
It's top of the lineup up for the Tigers in that one. They could possibly break that game open with 1 swing of the bat. Well, not necessarily break it open. I mean, it's 4-1 early. Wayne would have some opportunities to get back in that contest, as we've seen what the Pioneers can do. We know they can hit the ball pretty well, but don't want to fall behind real big early in that contest. So critical situation for Wayne. And Hunter Gibson, the batter, hits a ground ball to short. Shortstop will field throw across the diamond in time as the first baseman Lackey holds his ground to get the final out. And the shortstop, well, actually, that was Lackey at short that made the play to get the final out. We'll get the first baseman when we come back to William Tootie Carter's field as the Hillbillies play 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning on 1 hit. They leave the bases loaded. We'll move to the top of the second. 2-0 Mann leads Tug Valley. This is the Class Single A Region 4 Section 1 tournament on WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. Top of the second inning, 2-0 Mann leads Dakota Uten, the batter. Heading the count 2-0, swings and hits a pitch into left field for a base hit. And Tug Valley has a leadoff runner aboard on Uten's single. And for Dakota Uten, he came in to the contest hitting 260, 24-77. He has 14 RBIs. He has 3 doubles and 4 triples. So the 4 triples might want to be alert if you're the Hillbillies. He could go. As looks like he has some speed. Now Elijah Flutie, the batter. Flutie on the year is batting .212, 11, .452. And first pitch stealing is Uten, and he'll make it without a throw as the pitch was a called strike to Flutie.
And that, what you mentioned, Uten wants to move. He's one of Tug Valley's fastest runners on the base pass, and when he got that base hit, you know Tug Valley had to be happy with having him on base. He can come in and get some runs, so Drace needs to settle down and just try to strike out Flutie.
Not only does he need to settle down, he needs to pay attention to the runner. I don't think he gave the runner a look, and I think may have heard something from the Mann High School dugout about having to check the runner as Flutie swings and misses. Nothing into the count to Elijah Flutie, again a .212 hitter, looking to get a run in and cut this deficit in half. Tug Valley trails Mann 2-0. Pitch on the way is in the dirt, 1-2 the count.
Good block there by catcher John McCoy to keep that runner at second, as Tug Valley has a runner 180 foot away from home plate in baseball terms, 90 feet distance between the base pass. And right now, Drace, looking at the runner, needs to get this out here for Flutie.
Pitch swung on, hit back up the middle in the center field. Colton Miller charges, rounding third, coming in to score will be Dakota Uten without a throw. And Tug Valley has cut the deficit in half. They now trail 2-1 as the Panthers are on the board.
And this is what Coach Hall has been talking about. His team is starting to hit at the right time. They're starting to find their groove, and it's showing right now. Tug Valley's cut the lead in half. 2-1 now, Mann leads, but no outs are on the board, and that brings up the coach's son, Zachary Hall.
Zachary Hall's hitting .328 on the season. He is 24-61 as he lifts a fly ball into right field. There's the right fielder, Jace Atkins, to make the catch for out number 1.
Can of corn out there for Jace Atkins, and that brings up Austin Smith for the Tug Valley Panthers, the left fielder. And Bill, with the runner on base, how big of a base hit or a pass ball could be to get the runner in scoring position and maybe bring him around.
Austin Smith hitting .262, 17 .465. He has 8 RBIs, 5 doubles, and a triple, and he takes a pitch for a ball, 1-0 the count to Austin Smith, number 7 batter in the Tug Valley lineup. Gage Witt in the on-deck circle. Witt came in to pitch and got the final out in the first inning. Pitch on the way is in the dirt, 2-0 now the count.
And good block there by McCoy to keep the runner staying at first. But wouldn't be surprised here if Elijah Flutie might have a little bit of more of a leadoff to try to steal second base and get into scoring position.
Pitch on the way is in the dirt, 3-0 the count as Drace falls behind Smith. Smith, I was going to say, is a strikeout candidate as Crosby will emerge from third base dugout and go out and have a word with Drace. And he saw something that he didn't like, and he'll go out and try to correct it with Drace. As I was mentioning, Austin Smith, 28 strikeouts, only 9 walks on the season. He has been hit 7 times this season, and that is tops on the team.
And, Bill, we got a score update. It's 2-1. Chapmanville leading Wayne with 2 outs in the bottom of the second.
Bottom of the second, looks like Brody Dalton at the plate with the bases loaded. Danger time for Wayne. You want to be careful with that about it. You don't want to be too careful to walk him and walk in and run. But then again, maybe a walk is better than a grand slam.
And he flew out. So Wayne, Chapmanville leaves the bases stranded. Big out for Wayne.
Just like Mann did in the bottom of the first inning. Hillbillies left the bases loaded and scored 2 runs. Chapmanville gets a run in the bottom of the second but leaves the bases loaded as Smith taking all the way, takes a strike, 3-1 to count.
And good job by Mike Crosby to go out there and talk to Gerace, telling him, hey, we can't lose this batter. We need this out. So with Tug Valley can't get any more damage, as now the double play is in effect. See if he can strike him out or get him to the ground down to double play.
Flutie takes off, line drive into center field, right at Colton Miller. He's going to come up firing to first base, and Dickerson will not be able to dig the throw out of the dirt as Flutie gets back safely. Otherwise, Mann would have been out of the inning. But a fly out to center field results in out number 2, Gage Witt, the batter.
Bill, looking up at the clouds, it looks like the rain could be moving into our area or moving out of the way. You never know, as weather has not been permissible today. But right now it's holding for baseball. But good awareness by Colton Miller to try to throw out Flutie, getting back and just got off the glove of Caden Dickerson in order to try to pull that double play.
Pitch on the way to Witt is a called strike. 0-1 to count to the Tug Valley pitcher, who's batting 163 on the year, 7 for 43. He does have 7 RBIs this season and throw over nothing doing, as Flutie is back in, and now Flutie's down. Not quite sure what happened. Flutie went back in standing at the bag, and then he went down. Don't know if that's a knee or an ankle, but Flutie's up and going to try to walk it off, and looks like he's going to stay in the game for the meantime. But
you can't afford to lose him if you're Tug Valley.
Yeah, something. Don't necessarily know what happened. I think maybe he got the ankle jammed in the bag as he was going back in standing, and everything seems to be okay with Flutie as he gets his lead off of first base, and he will stay in. So 0-1 to count to Witt. Pitch swung on and fouled. 0-2 the count to Gage Witt.
Foul right back at us. But now that Elijah Flutie hurt his ankle a little bit, look like he's fine. He's still bending over and kind of grimacing pain. How well is this going to affect his running right now? Because if Gage Witt grounds out, could be an easy play at second.
Witt's got 16 strikeouts against 5 walks on the season, and the pitch is swung on and fouled. Witt stays alive in the count. 0-2 remains the count.
And this would be a big at-bat for Tug Valley. See if they can try to get this going. The scores on the scoreboard shows 2-0, but it's 2-1. Tug Valley came in and scored, and this will be a big at-bat for the young freshman, as he's trying to keep this inning going for the Panthers.
0-2 on the way is just low. 1-2 the count. That pitch didn't miss by much.
That pitch was too close for comfort there if you are Gage Witt. And, Bill, we have a final. Wahama defeats Calhoun County in the Mercy Rule in 6 innings, 12-2.
So Wahama takes on Ravenswood. Pitch upstairs for a ball. 2-2 the count. Regardless of what happens this at bat, Daniel, for Tug Valley, they've got to feel that they did accomplish what they wanted to coming out of the inning. They fell behind 2-0 in the bottom of the first. Could have been much worse. The bases loaded, but Witt comes in, gets the job done, and then they come in the bat and they get one of those 2 runs back. So they do at least cut into it. And now Chopper hit the short. Messer Fields will throw across the diamond in time as it's dug out of the dirt by Caden Dickerson to retire Witt and the Tug Valley Panthers in the top half of the second inning. But the Panthers get a run on 2 hits and leave 1 runner stranded. We head to the bottom of the second. It's Mann 2, Tug Valley 1. You're listening to the Class Single A Region 4 Section 1 baseball tournament on WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. Bottom of the second inning, 2-1. Mann leads Tug Valley in the Class Single A Region 4 Section 1 baseball tournament. Braden Compton, the batter, swings and chops one in fair. Nope, now foul territory as the home plate umpire calls it foul. But a heads-up play by the third baseman for Tug Valley down there to field it. Don't wait on the umpire to make the call because it could be a fair ball. Field it and throw it anyway. Let the umpire make the call. So heads-up play down there by the third baseman, Chandler Copley, and regardless, it's a foul ball, so 1-2 the count to Compton, who is hitting as he takes a pitch for ball 2. Get the stats right now. Braden Compton hitting 195 on the season. He is 8 for 41. He has 6 RBIs for the Hillbillies this season. Pitch on the way, swung on, hit in the center field, looping and dropping in for a bloop single as a center fielder, Dakota Uten, was unable to get to that one, nor was the left fielder, Austin Smith. So the Hillbillies have the leadoff man aboard with a single from Compton, and Bo Thompson back to the plate for Mann. He grounded out to the shortstop, which was Elijah Flutie in the first inning. Flutie is now on the mound. Connor Lackey is the Gage Witt, the shortstop, now on the mound. Flutie, the pitcher, moved to first, and first baseman Lackey moved to short.
It's a lot of that to get all that. Everybody can move in and out of the lineup, and that base is drilled over to third.
Thompson will swing and hit one over the third baseman's head into left field for a base hit. Mann with the first 2 on as they have runners at first and second, and Jace Atkins, the batter. Atkins 1 for 1 with a double and a run scored back in the first inning.
Hard-hitting shot over the third baseman's head by Bo Thompson, and now Jace Atkins, who in this field, he hit early on in the season against Sherman in a wooden bat classic, a wood bat, Oppo field home run. See if he can do it tonight here against the Tug Valley Panthers.
Takes a called strike. First pitch, 0-1 to count as Gage Witt did a good job of freezing Atkins on that pitch. That pitch swung on and hit to short. Shortstop Lackey will field and have one play. That's to second base to force Bo Thompson. So fielder's choice by off the bat of Jace Atkins will move the runner Compton from second to third. Thompson is forced at second for the first out, and Colton Miller, the batter.
That's a big out right there for Chapman, for Tug Valley. That was a hard-hitting shot by Jace Atkins. Good field by Lackey to throw over to the second baseman of Tug Valley. And now Colton Miller, who has an opportunity to lay down another squeeze bunt to try to maybe a pickle play here with the runners at first and third. See if he can lay down a squeeze bunt, as you know they got both speed on both base passes, so I wouldn't be surprised if Miller lays down a bunt here to move the runners over and to score.
See what the call is, because you know he wants to, and he'll lay down a bunt and then bunt it foul off the screen. 0-1 to count. Mann likes to be aggressive in the count early, and Miller, as Daniel mentioned, walked back in the first inning after he was unable to get a bunt down with Jace Atkins at third base. So Miller back in the box, waiting the 0-1 from Witt. Appears to have the bunt on again, and he'll pull back, take a strike, and taking third base, taking second base without a throw, as the throw comes in to third base to try to catch Compton off the bag, but Compton's back safely, so Jace Atkins moves up to second on the called strike. 0-2 to Miller.
Luckily, Compton was able to get back in at third.
Pitch swung on, hit in the right field, getting away from right fielder. Right fielder makes a running catch, tagging. Nobody tagging at third. Kind of shocked at that play as the right fielder, Zach Hall, made a fantastic catch. And Coach Mike Crosby's wondering the same thing. Why didn't Compton tag? And Coach Jack Daniels is giving him the stare out there as well. So, missed opportunity for the Hillbillies for the time being. Cam Derace, the batter.
It was just like, Bill, I think Braden Compton had a brain fart out there. He was already halfway between third and plate because he thought the ball was going to drop, and he had to come back where Zach Hall made the grab. So, a little bit of just a miscue by the young player from Braden Compton.
Pitch is going to be bobbled at third base, and they've got Atkins in a rundown down situation, and the tag is not going to be in time as Chandler Copley bobbled the ball, so it's going to be an E5. It's going to allow the run to score. It's an unearned run. The Hillbillies take a 3-1 lead, and moving up to third on the play is Jace Atkins as he slid around the tag. He slid around the tag of Copley at third, and safe at first is Gerace, and we get a pitch runner, Landon Cantrell. Courtesy runner, Landon Cantrell, following the error.
That was close for Jace Atkins. Copley thought he tagged him when Jace Atkins slid too far off the bag, and it just, luckily, Jace Atkins was able to just get back in there in time to touch the bag. Umpire said he's safe, even though that was really close to call for Chandler Copley, and Jace Atkins Copley almost tagged Jace Atkins out to get out number 3.
See if Cantrell's moving on first pitch. He is indeed, and Dickerson swings and fouls it off, much like he did a plethora of times in the first at-bat with Cantrell on base. Cantrell started running. Dickerson fouled the pitch off. The same thing here, first pitch to Dickerson.
And this is what you like seeing for Mann. They want to be aggressive. Mike Crosby, you can see the old Roger Gertz playbook in him, as I know Crosby and Mike Crosby and Roger Gertz are really good friends, and you see they both like to do the double plays.
As the third pickoff attempt is wide of Flutie at first base, and it gets by him and will allow Jace Atkins to come in and score with the 4th run for the Hillbillies. Moving up to second is Cantrell. Mann now leads 4-1, and they have a runner in scoring position at second.
It happened so fast, Bill, I couldn't even finish my thought. But like I said, Mike Crosby likes to be aggressive and lay down the small ball bunts, and he was going to do it. Now runners in scoring position at second.
0-2 to count to Dickerson as he swings and misses. And Mann's very fortunate on the play. As soon as the pickoff attempt happened and the ball got by the first baseman, Cantrell was asking for time. And fortunately, they didn't ask it as that pitch gets by the third baseman in the left field. Coming in to score will be Cantrell. Mann now leads 5-1 on the RBI single off the bat of Caden Dickerson.
And Mann is hitting the ball. Another RBI and another score for Mann. This is starting to get a little bit out of hand for the young freshman, Gage Witt, as he has now gave up his third run in this inning after leaving Elijah Flutie. And this is a hard task for a young freshman, having to build in a winner go home situation. It's never easy for a young freshman in that situation.
All 3 of these runs in the inning for the Hillbillies unearned, as they have scored. They've scored after what should have been the third out of the inning. And now Mann, with Braxton Messer at the plate, looking to continue the inning as Dickerson leads off first. 1-0 the count to Messer after he took the ball on first pitch. 1-0 in there for a called strike. 1-1 the count. Good
placement there for Gage Witt, trying to just work this inning, trying to work Messer and try to get out of this inning jam. As 3 runs come across from Mann in this inning, and they don't want no more.
Pitch swung on, and he hit over the right side as it gets out of play. 1-2 the count, to Messer, who is 0 for 1. He flew out back in the first inning, the second baseman, a play that resulted in the infield fly rule for out number 2.
Bill, top of the 4th. We're still at the same score. Chattanville 2, Wayne 1.
Pioneers hanging in there as Messer is hit on the elbow, and he'll take his base. So the Hillbillies have runners at first and second for John McCoy. Again, McCoy is tied for the team lead in home runs with Jace Atkins with 4 each.
And I thought we were going to get a quick mound visit from Coach Hall. But
no, it was just the umpire. Okay, yeah, what happened on the play was when the ball hit Messer in the elbow and hit him. I guess he's got an elbow guard down there. It ricocheted to the first base dugout, and home plate umpire went out and picked up a new ball to get back to the pitcher as McCoy takes a pitch in the dirt. 1-0 the count to the catcher, John McCoy, whose first plate appearance resulted in a walk for the Hillbillies.
Big John McCoy has the opportunity. He's been hitting the ball good against the Panthers to try to continue and blow this inning open if he can get a hold of one.
Pitch swung on and fouled, and nothing. Count will run to 1-1 now.
It run everybody in the dugout from Mann back into the dugout after that hit. Luckily, there was a cage there. If not, someone may have got beamed by a ball. but McCoy with a
Yeah, it
1-1 count.
looked like Bo Thompson down there was dodging out of the way. Thankfully for the Hillbillies, that one guy they could ill afford to lose is your leading hitter and who many consider to be your ace pitcher. If he gets Mann gets this win tonight, he'll more than likely get the call tomorrow against Buffalo in another elimination game. So 2-1 to count, and McCoy swings and fouls it off. 2-2 now the count.
And this would be big right here for Gage Witt, trying to get this out right here against the Mann Hillbillies. That's all Tug Valley just want to praise. Try to get these outs as fast as possible without trying to limit the arms and limit the damage.
Pitch swung on, popped up. Will anybody have a play? Catcher tries to call everybody off, but it drops just in front of the Tug Valley section down along the first base side here. So count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. It's Daniel Tug Valley in this inning. They've been their own worst enemy as they've committed 2 errors. That's resulted in 3 runs.
Yeah, just can't get into the the rhythm right now. Everything's just like falling apart, and Mann's hitting the ball good on Tug Valley. Just nothing you can do right there.
Pitch is a called strike 3 on the outside corner as it freezes McCoy to retire the side here in the bottom of the second inning. Not for the Hillbillies play 3 runs on 3 hits. There was 2 Tug Valley errors. Mann leaves, 2 runners stranded. End of 2, Mann 5, Tug Valley 1. This is the Class Single A Region 4 Section 1 baseball tournament on WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. Top of the 3rd inning, and Chandler Copley leads off with a bloop single on a 1-0 pitch from Cam Derace as Tug Valley for the 2nd straight inning has the leadoff runner aboard. They trail 5-1 after Mann played at 3 runs in the 2nd inning on 3 hits. Hillbillies again leave 2 runners stranded. Through 2 innings, Daniel Mann has left 5 runners on base in this contest as they've left 3 of those 5 in scoring position thus far. So it's hopefully that doesn't come back to bite the Hillbillies. But Tug Valley with the leadoff guy aboard and the top of the order coming up. Julian Vance, the batter. Vance 0 for 1 with a ground out to second base.
And that's a big leadoff for Tug Valley, getting Chandler Copley on base. And now Julian Vance, their top of the lineup, their catcher, he needs to get on base too to try to cut back into this. Tug Valley, the times they have led and the times they have trailed, you always see the fight in the Panthers, and that's what Coach Hall loves about this team right now. They're fighting, and they're going to have to fight in order to get back in this game against Mann.
1-0 the count, pitch on the way, swung on and popped up on the infield. Shortstop Messer calls for it and makes the catch for out number 1. Braden Dotson, the batter. Dotson 0 for 1, ground out to Bo Thompson at third in the first inning.
That was a lazy pop-up for Julian Vance, and now Braden Dotson, like you mentioned, his last at-bat, he grounded out on a 5-3 to get the second out of the first inning. He wants to try to race that and move Copley over. Doing a good job getting that runner on base, but you can't do nothing if you can't move it over.
Hopefully we don't jinx DeRace when we say this, but the pitch in the dirt, 1-0 the count as the runner moves up to second base on the wild pitch. The pitch counter on the scoreboard has DeRace for 36 pitches, doing what Coach Crosby wants him to do, come in, throw strikes, allow his defense to back him up. He's yet to have a strikeout, and he's yet to walk a batter, so he's been very effective when you consider that Tug Valley starter Elijah Flutie didn't even get out of the first inning and threw 40 pitches, and that pitch swung on, hit into left field for a base hit as left fielder Hunter Gibson has a little issue with it, but no advancement from the runner at third as the third base coach was holding Chandler Copley the entire time. So that ball was just hit too hard to send the runner at third when you're down 4 runs.
Yeah, and the ball got away. The Tug Valley fans wanted him to go. They wanted to be aggressive because you never know when that opportunity to come home is going to happen in baseball for any odd reason. So the Tug Valley fans wanted him to come home, but it could work right here. Maybe it would be a good job to hold him up at third, and with Connor Lackey coming in, he could be the one that brings him in and might pay out for Tug Valley.
That's a smart decision out there. The ball was hit hard. It didn't even kick that far away from Gibson. Now fake to third, throw back over to first, nothing doing as Dotson is back in safely ahead of the tag from Caden Dickerson at first. And the batter, Connor Lackey, again, he's got 12 RBIs on the season. He's got 7 doubles. Tug Valley would like to see double number 8 here to at least cut into the deficit, maybe get 2 runs in as Lackey swings and misses, 0-1 to count.
Yep, he wants to just try to get that. Lackey can get doubles, like you mentioned. Lackey is one of those just rare athletes you see down, and just he's so smooth with what he does. He's a smooth pitcher, smooth hitter, and right now Tug Valley needs him to come in big if they want to try to stay in it with Mann.
Pitch on the way is in the dirt, 1-1 now the count to Lackey.
And that ball just got away from McCoy. Just good job to block. Got away from DeRace. Good block by McCoy. And now with the 1-1 count, you can't afford any mess up right here. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tug Valley try to pull a double steal right here.
1-1, 1 out. Pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Now 1-2 the count. Now if you're Mann and they do try to pull a double steal, you can get a strikeout of Lackey. Why not throw down and see if you can't get a strike him out, throw him out, double play. But if you're the runner, main thing is if they throw down, you want to try to get caught in the run down. And that runner on third needs to be watching the throw the entire way. So 1-2, 1 out, the count to Lackey. First throw over, nothing doing, as diving back in and then crawling back in safely is Braden Dotson.
Bill, in the top of the 5th, Chapmanville still leads 2-1, but Mann has a runner, the leadoff runner in that inning, on base right now, and that was Levi Queen. So very interesting things starting to heat up in Chapmanville. Tensions are starting to rise.
Keep an eye on that. As that pitch swung on, hit into right field, it's going to get a run in as Jace Aggins fields it and throws it back into the shortstop Messer at second base. So first and second for Tug Valley after the RBI single from Connor Lackey, and they now trail Mann 5-2.
Good hit there for Connor Lackey. And see, I think the smart move from Coach Hall to hold Copley up paid off, because if Copley, he was kind of stumbling going around third, so Coach Hall brought him back, and that could have been a throw out, even though the ball got away from Hunter Gibson. Hunter Gibson. So smart now Tug Valley's cutting in the lead, and with 1 out, they try to keep doing it here.
Pitch to Dakota Ooten is a ball, 1-0 the count. Ooten single and stole a base back in the second inning and came around to score on an RBI single off the bat of Elijah Flutie for the first run of the game for Tug Valley. That cut it to 2-1 with Mann leading. Since then, Hillbillies added 3 runs in the bottom of the second to go ahead 5-1. Now it's 5-2 as the pitch bounces off the plate, and runners will move up to second and third as Dotson and Lackey move up on the wild pitch.
And that is what you want for Tug Valley. Be aggressive on the base pass and be aware on the base pass. So now a base hit here for Dakota Uten, who got a hit his last appearance, can make this a 1-run ball game for the Tug Valley Panthers. So just like what tensions are heading down at Ted Ellis Field, tensions could be rising here at William Tootie Carter Field.
Second wild pitch of the inning for Gerace. Pitch on the way is outside and gets to the backstop, but no advancement. Count now runs to 3 balls, no strikes.
Right now, Gerace is just having a hard time with the control. It's just getting away from him. And he's pitched 44 pitches. He's yet to allow a walk in this game, and he's yet to strike out a Tug Valley batter. So right now, he needs to battle back, and we're going to get an intentional walk. They're going to intentional walk Dakota Uten because they know he can get a base hit here. So now, with this intentional walk with 1 out, the play is everywhere. You can play. You have a play at the plate. You have a play at second, first, and third. So anything is doable right now. So they could give up a run if it's just a ground out single. They'll take that in order to get out number 2.
Pitch is fouled off the hands by Elijah Flutie. 0-1 to count. Flutie 1-for-1 RBI single back in the second inning, and that was a pitch that was hit up the middle. And if Mann can get a pitch hit up the middle here, they could be able to turn a double play at second. Ball back to the mound, and Gerace will be coming home. We might get a 1-2-3 double play, and that pitch inside. 1-1 now the count.
Just inside for Elijah Flutie, and when Elijah Flutie was on base last time and he went down with ankle, it's good to see him back in the play. You never want to see a young athlete hurt, especially when it's your coming down to the end of baseball season, out of the end of the athletic calendar in 2023.
Pitch on the way, swung on a miss by Flutie. 1-2 the count, as the Hillbillies do have the luxury of having Braden Compton to pitch. John McCoy is available to throw. Hunter Gibson, who we saw throw a number of innings against Chapmanville, and really he came in and held them off the scoreboard until Chapmanville got the second and third time through the lineup against Gibson, started getting different looks at him before they finally broke that one open. So pitch on the way is outside. 2-2 now the count to Flutie.
Bill, we have a pitching update. They took out Farley for Chapmanville, and they now went with the closer, you would say, Ian Plumley.
Well, 5th inning in that game, 2-1. Plumley finishes it out. He'll get the save, and he's coming in a save situation. If it does go 7, he pitches 3, he gets a save. So pitch on the way is fisted. Thompson will field, come home, and there's the out of the runner Dotson from third trying to score from home on the play, as he really had no opportunity. He had to go, so the force out. So the intentional walk for the time being pays out to the Hillbillies' favor, as Dotson is erased 5-2 on the fielder's choice, and bases remain loaded for Zach Hall, who flew out to right field back in the second inning.
Smart play with that intentional walk I mentioned. Now the play was everywhere, and again, bases are still loaded, and the play is anywhere with 2 outs now on the board for Tug Valley, and they need a base hit here for Zach Hall, who flew out into right field his last at-bat.
Pitch on the way is in the dirt, kicks away, no advancement by the runner at third as he was heading back to the bag, and that's Braden Dotson, it's Connor Lackey. Dotson was erased on the fielder's choice. I got a little bit ahead of myself on my scorebook there. So Lackey is the runner at third, Dakota Uten at second, and Elijah Flutie at first, not being held currently by first baseman Caden Dickerson. Pitch on the way is low to, actually called strike, 1-1 to count, as a few moan and groans from the Tug Valley side.
They were not happy with that, and you would have to think when on that pass ball they didn't send Connor Lackey. This back shortstop, Tug Valley's not used to stuff like that. Mann is, so they don't know how the trajectory goes. As we try to get a pickoff play.
Pickoff and just back in. Now coming home is the runner, and he'll be safe on the steal, delayed steal, as Tug Valley does get 2 of those 3 runs back that they gave up in the second inning. They now trail 5-3, as good alertness there by the Tug Valley coaching staff to send Connor Lackey on the pickoff attempt at second base. Man nearly got the runner Uten at second. And as soon as the tag was applied, Lackey was heading home. And the throw, I don't even think the throw would have been in time to get the runner Lackey from third. It would have been a bang-bang situation, but Lackey slid in and was able to kick the ball free. Again, it would have been a bang-bang play, so I don't know if it would have been in time to get him. But 5-3, the lead now for Mann, and pitch popped up and out of play. 1-2, now the count to Zach Hall.
Zach Hall's just fighting everything off right now. He knows how important this bat can be. With 2 outs on the board, he'd like to get a base hit here to score Dakota Uten from second. And Elijah Flutie, if awareness, he could take second on a pass ball here. So this is a big at-bat for Tug Valley because Mann's trying to limit this damage from what Tug Valley can do. And we've been seeing this offseason. Tug Valley
pick off
doing a
tipped
good job.
again, and it will hit off of Dotson, or excuse me, hit off of Uten and go in to right field. Both runners now move up, and Tug Valley have the tying runs in scoring position at second and third after the errant throw.
Bill, what can you say? Everything's happening so fast. Couldn't get my thought out. Everything's going off. Dakota Uten got beamed with the ball. It's not like softball. If it's softball, you get hit with the ball, you are out. Not in baseball. And Dakota Uten got beamed. So now 2 runners in scoring position for the Panthers.
Pitch on the way is upstairs, 2-2. Now the count to Zach Hall. Yeah, it's the difference in softball. You can't lead off the bag, so you're not going to be picked off unless you get a throw down from the catcher. If it hits you, you're going to be safe. But if you're in fair territory and it hits you, then you're out. Unless it hits off the fielder's glove like we saw Monday over at Scott, as the Skyhawks were able to get a run in that softball game. As ball hit to third, Thompson fields, throws across the diamond in time to get a hustling Zach Hall for out number 3. But the Tug Valley Panthers played 2 runs in the top of the third inning on 3 hits. There was 1 man error, and the Panthers leave 2 runners stranded. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Mann leads Tug Valley 5-3. This is the Class Single A Region 4 Section 1 baseball tournament on WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. Bottom of the third inning, 3-0 count to Hunter Gibson. Pitch in a dirt ball, 4 leadoff walk for the Hillbillies as they have the leadoff batter aboard for the second consecutive inning. And the batter, the designated hitter Braden Compton, who started the 3-run second with a single, and he eventually came around to score on an error. Bill Lusk, Daniel Miller with you. Seth Eastep, our studio engineer, in the WVOW studios. 5-3, bottom of the third inning. Hillbillies lead the Panthers in an elimination game of the Class A, Region 4, Section 1 baseball tournament. 0-1 the count to Compton, who takes a first pitch strike. The 0-1 swung on a miss, 0-2.
That was a little high for Braden Compton. He swung on and chopped at it like a sword, but nonetheless, 0-2 count, and Gage Witt, after giving up that 4-pitch walk, he's trying to battle back and strike out Compton.
Pitch on the way. Compton ducks out of the way of it and takes a pitch for a ball, 1-2 the count. If he just would have tried to get out of the way of it, he more than likely would have got hit, and Mann would have had runners at first and second for the leadoff guy. And that pitch swung on and fouled off the top of the dugout and ricochets back into left field, so the count remains 1-2.
Bill, just an update for those who are wanting to know the Chatfield Wayne situation. Brody Dalton with 2 outs has a double, and he's in scoring position with Trey Butcher behind him. Still 2-1 Tigers over the Pioneers in the bottom of the 5th.
Wayne hanging around with Chapmanville, much like they did on Tuesday night. 5-5 game in the bottom of the 6th inning, and the aforementioned Brody Dalton ripped a 2-run triple to right field. That started a 4-run rally for the Tigers as they won that one. That pitch swung on and bounced to the mound. The pitcher will go to short for the force out of Gibson at second. And that's Lackey on the put out. Throw not in time to get Compton, so fielder's choice. Compton will just trade places with Hunter Gibson on the play.
Yeah, Witt was actually looking to go to first, but the coaches told him no, go second, and Connor Lackey was able to get that catch from Gage Witt. Good awareness by the coaches for the young freshman.
Bo Thompson, the batter. Thompson 1 for 2, single in the second inning and ground out to short. In the first, 1-0 the count to Thompson, the pitch in the dirt. Daniel, you kind of shocked to see that Compton didn't lay down a bunt with top of the lineup coming up?
I am kind of shocked because I figured with no outs on the board, Mann was going to be aggressive to try to get the second, Hunter Gibson in scoring position.
Called strike on the outside corner to Thompson, 1-1 the count as Compton, the runner at first base, gets his lead. And Gage Witt's come in and done a phenomenal job. That pitch is on the inside corner, but off the plate, 2-1 now the count.
Bill, we started this game at 6:39. It is almost 8 o'clock, and we are not out of the third inning. It's going to be one of those days.
Well, I mean, these teams are just putting the bat on the ball, and you've got some miscues in the field. Tug Valley had some walks as the runner takes off for second, and he's going to be out by a mile as Compton is gunned down as Julian Vance throws to Braden Dotson, who applies a tag. 2-4 on the put-out, caught stealing out number 2.
Big throw there from Julian Vance to get the speedy Compton out. Now Witt can try to work around with Bo Thompson.
Thompson swings and sends a drive into the gap out in right center field or left center field. It's going to hit off the wall, and Thompson's going to cruise into second base with a 2-out double, nearly missing a solo home run. And runner in scoring position for Jace Atkins with 2 outs in the bottom of the third.
Man, if that ball was just a little bit higher. Bill, you know this ballpark by heart. How tall are the fences? They have to be about good, I want to say 12.
Well, where Thompson hit it, just right where the scoreboard's at in left center field, it's 330 out there, and the fence, I would say about 5.5 foot tall out there, maybe 6 foot. I mean, really, it's if a fielder gets a good track on it, he can possibly take away a low-lying home run off the bat of the batter. But, I think if it was a little bit warmer, I think that ball just would have carried on out of here. As Thompson smoked that pitch as the 1-0 to Jace Atkins is called strike, 1-1 to count.
And you got to give credit to this young freshman, Gage Witt. He's really starting to settle in now for the Tug Valley Panthers. He can keep this up. Tug Valley's going to keep riding him out all the way to the pitch limit.
Pitch outside, 2-1 to count as Witt has thrown 43 pitches in his relief work. That pitch swung on, hit the Lackey at short. Aggins hustling out, gets through the legs of Lackey, and Aggins will be safe on the air as holding at second base is Bo Thompson. So first and second, 2 outs. Colton Miller, the batter for the Hillbillies. Miller flew out in the second inning and walked and scored back in the first.
Just a unfortunate break there for Connor Lackey. He had a good look on it. It just took that ugly bounce and just got away from him on that E6 right there. And if he could have corralled that cleanly, he could have threw out Atkins. They could have get out of this jam. But now Witt, with 2 outs, have to work with 2 runners on.
Pitch is outside for a ball, 1-0 the count. And you don't want to, walk Miller to bring Gerace up to the plate. I know Gerace is nothing for 1 on the evening. He reached on an error and scored and had a sacrifice bunt back in the 4th inning. That pitch swung on and hit the third. Third baseman comes up, fields, and throws in time to get Miller and retire the Hillbillies in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Mann gets no runs, but they do get a hit. And there was 1 Tug Valley error, 2 runners left on base for the Hillbillies in the bottom of the 3rd inning. So 3 innings in the books, 5-3, Mann leads Tug Valley. This is the Class A Region 4 Section 1 baseball tournament on WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. Top of the 4th inning, Ashton Smith leading off for the Tug Valley Panthers. Swings at a 1-1 pitch and grounds out to Bo Thompson at third base. Thompson bobbled it, but had plenty of time to get the runner. Now Gerace delivers a pitch and takes a tumble as he's up laughing about it, and the pitch was a called strike. So if you're going to tumble on the mound, you might as well make it look good tumbling. Called strike, 0-1 to Gage Witt.
Yeah, he's laughing about that. I'll tell you a story about that after the tumble after his pitch.
Second pitch swung on a miss, 0-2. And how big would this be for Mann if Gerace is able to go out and retire the Tug Valley Panthers in order and have a quick inning in doing so? He's thrown 3 pitches to Austin Smith and got 1 out. Now he's ahead in the count, 0-2. Pitch number 6 of the inning coming, and it's a ball, 1-2 the count.
And, yeah, this would be big for Cam Gerace, but the story I had was I was covering the Winfield and Chatfield game, and the Winfield thrower, Carson Fry, was going to throw back over to first, but it looked like the rug got pulled out from underneath it, and his feet go flying, and it ended up leading into a scoring balk.
Pitch in the dirt, 2-2 now the count to Gage Witt, the pitcher, who's come on in relief of Elijah Flutie after Flutie struggled throw 40 pitches in the first inning, giving up 2 runs. And Witt comes in on a bases-loaded jam in the first and gets out of it. As that pitch outside corner called strike 3. Witt didn't agree with it. He looked down at his third base coach in disbelief, but it is strike 3, and that's the first strikeout for Gerace. And out number 2, and Chandler Copley, who led off the third with a single and scored in the 2-run third inning for the Panthers, is the batter, takes a pitch in the dirt for a ball, 1-0 the count.
That was a big strikeout, and the first strikeout for Cam Gerace, as you need more of those if you want to try to slow down the Tug Valley hitting right, and they're doing a good job hitting the ball off of Gerace.
Pitch outside, ball 2, 2-0 the count to Copley, as that was pitch number 10 this inning, 63 for the game, as there's a steady rain shower falling over top of William Tootie Carter Field, as Copley swings and misses, 2-1 the count. Again, this game has to be completed. This game has to go 7 innings. There is no, once you get to the 5th inning and the home team is up, it's called. No, WVSSAC rules state that the game must go 7 innings. Now, if you're up 10 after 5 innings, that's a different story. But this one must be, right now as we stand, has to go 7 as Copley takes a pitch outside, 3-1 to count. Pitch on the way is ball 4, and Tug Valley has a 2-out base runner for the second time. Copley is aboard.
And, Bill, that is the first walk of the game for Cam Gerace, and we got Coach Jack Daniels coming out there.
Other than the intentional walk that he issued to Dakota Uten, and we don't want to say that maybe he would or wouldn't have walked, that he would have or would not have walked Dakota Uten because he was behind in the count 3-0, and Mann just elect to go ahead and put Uten on instead of throwing another pitch. So now conversation on the mound as Jack Daniels is out, going over a little bit of a mechanics issue as we see him talking to Gerace about finishing and staying on top of his pitches. Like he's leaving everything up and not coming through and following through with his pitch on his fastballs and curveballs. So we'll see if Gerace can fix the issue and get Mann out of this inning as Tug Valley's back to the top of the lineup. Julian Vance 0 for 2 with a ground out to first back in the first inning and a fly out to short back in the third.
Bill, for those who are listening at home, score update, it is still 2-1 in the bottom of the 6th with 1 out for Chapmanville, so that game is getting down to its end. Wayne's got to make a noise in the next inning. If not, we're going to have round 4 between Chapmanville and Logan down at Roger E. Gertz Field.
Rain getting heavier by the minute out there as the runner breaks for second. Throw down is not going to be in enough time as Chandler Copley has a steal of second base. Pitch was a called strike, 0-1 to Vance, but runner in scoring position for the Panthers.
Julian Vance, the leadoff man, he's 0 for 2 today with a ground out and a pop-up. He would love to try to get his first base hit here and cut this lead in half, make it a 5-4 ball game. 0-1
pitch on the way, outside, ball 1, 1-1, the count to Vance, the catcher.
This is
for the Tug Valley Panthers.
Bill, this is, you say everything's big. It's big for both teams because this is it. Because there is no tomorrow for one of these two teams. Someone's going home after today, and this is a really neck-and-neck ball game. This is what Tug Valley wanted. They wanted to keep this game close within 2 runs and not let the game get out of reach. And you have to give credit to Coach Hall for that. 1-1
low, 2-1 now the count to Coach Vance. Yeah, it's letting you a Tug Valley team. They've played a lot of close games on the season. Of course, them being the Panthers, the Panther being a member of the Cat family, they're, really using many of those 9 lives as they've used up 8 of them. And, Mann would just like to, get out of here with the win and eliminate Tug Valley here. 2-1 to count.
Yeah, for basketball fans, they know Tug Valley was the team that eliminated Mann in sectional basketball.
Chopper between first and third, and the throw from the shortstop gets away from the first baseman, Dickerson. Messer probably should have held that one. Don't know why he threw it. He didn't have a play at first base anyway, so it's going to be an infield single for Julian Vance. And coming around third to score on the throwing error by Messer is Chandler Copley, and Tug Valley has closed to within a run again. They're down 5-4.
Now batting for Tug Valley.
This is getting on the edge of the seats for Mann fans. Mann making the mental errors in this contest. It's almost like it's causing Mann right now. Tug Valley's back in this game, only trying by 1 run, and Braden Dodson can make this very interesting.
Pitch is up high for a ball to Dodson, who's 1 for 2. Single in the 3rd inning and a ground out to third back in the 1st inning. 1-0 the count, and now time called, and Jack Daniels coming out. Looks like we'll make a pitching change with a 1-0 count and 2 outs, as looks like this is Compton, I do believe, who is finally loose in the pen. Compton will come into the game. Gavin Klein looks like he will leave, and DeRace, well, we'll see where DeRace goes, as Jace Atkins is coming in from right field as well to talk. Well, he's going to come in and talk to DeRace. So Thompson's going to move to second base.
It looks like DeRace is going to third.
Klein is out, and we presume that DeRace will move to third. Messer will stay at short, and Compton, the designated hitter, will now go to the mound.
And this is we've seen this move coming right now because he's trying to limit the arms right now, and Braden Compton's now coming in fresh to with a 1-0 count to Braden Dodson, and this will be a big try to get this big out here for Mann, as they don't want to give up more. Like you said, Tug Valley, they've taken opportunities. They've been hitting the ball good, and Mann just making those simple throwing errors that's just really not needed, and it's causing Tug Valley to get back into this game right now.
Yeah, Hillbillies with 2 errors in the contest. Tug Valley with 4. So both teams having issues in the field. Really, the errors have, the majority of them been the throwing variety. I think 4 to 6 errors for both teams have been throwing errors.
Yep, and Bill, we're in the top of the 7th with Wayne and Chapmanville. That game is coming down to the wire. If you're Logan fans, you're on the edge of your seat, as this is very interesting, as now 2 outs away for a Chapmanville victory with a ground out, and one of Wayne's best hitters, Levi Queen, is coming to the plate.
We'll keep you up to date on that contest, as again, the winner of that game between Chapmanville and Wayne will play Logan tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m. on Middleburg Island, Roger E. Gertz Field, in the sectional championship, Class AA Region 4 Section 2 championship. Logan 1 win away from a 3rd consecutive sectional championship. Chapmanville or Wayne, whoever wins tonight, will have to beat the Wildcats on tomorrow afternoon to force a winner-take-all game Monday evening from either Logan. If it's Wayne that wins tonight and beats Logan tomorrow, a winner-take-all game would be Monday at Logan. As pitch on the way, the runner breaks for second, and he'll slide in safely as Julian Vance has a stolen base. That just happened so quickly on the delivery. 2-0 now the count to Braden Dodson, and tying run in scoring position at third base. But again, Chapmanville wins and beats Logan tomorrow, then the winner-take-all game will be back at Ted Ellis Field, because Chapmanville is the top seed in the sectional tournament. 2-0 on the way, called strike, 2-1 now the count to Braden Dodson, as Braden Compton is in relief of Cam DeRace, who went 3 2/3, and for the time being has allowed 4 runs. He's responsible for the runner on second. Pitch nearly hits Dodson, and it's taken for ball 3, 3-1 to count.
And Compton just a little bit kind of a little bit wild after throwing that 1 strike. He almost hit Dodson, and this would be a big momentum builder right now. Tug Valley can get Dodson on base, which bringing up Connor Lackey right behind him.
3-1 taken for a strike, 3-2 the count, and now 2 outs in Ted Ellis Field. Tigers 1 out away from advancing to tomorrow's sectional championship game against county rival Logan. As Daniel mentioned, 4th meeting if that happens. Pitch on the way, swung on, popped up. Shortstop lost it at first. He goes back and slides and makes the catch. You just hope he's okay as Thompson and Messer collide. Both players down, and both players appear to be getting up as the coaches will come out and check on them. But Messer hangs on for the final out in the 4th inning, and Tug Valley leaves a runner stranded. So we'll go to the bottom of the 4th, 5-4 Mann after Tug Valley played a run on 1 hit and left 1 runner on base. This is the Class A Region 4 Section 1 baseball tournament on WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. Bottom of the 4th inning from William Tootie Carter Field, and now concern for the Hillbillies as Braxton Messer is having to be helped off the field, not putting any pressure on that left leg, Daniel.
No, it is not looking good. Braxton Messer just he had that awkward slide with Bo Thompson as they were both trying to make the play, and it just didn't look good when they both slid in. You couldn't tell really who caught the ball, and you couldn't tell that are they both okay. And both of them, well, Bo's luckily okay, but it doesn't look like Braxton Messer is okay. And now with Braxton Messer out, it looks like we're going to have Gavin Klein come back into the ball game to probably play second and move Bo Thompson over to short.
The situation there is Klein was being DH'd for by DeRace, who's now at third base. Compton is on the Compton's now pitching. DeRace was Klein was being DH'd for as the Cam DeRace takes a first pitch ball and then swings and hits a line shot back into center field for a base hit. So leadoff batter aboard for the 3rd straight inning for the Hillbillies on the hit by DeRace, and that is the 6th hit for the Hillbillies. We'll get back to the point about the substitution. It's going to have to be somebody off in the bench. You don't know necessarily who. You put Landon Cantrell in, put him at third possibility, and move Thompson to short, and maybe you can move Compton to second. We'll have to see, or not Compton, move DeRace to second. We'll have to see how Mann plays it as pitch in the dirt, ball 1 to Caden Dickerson, who's 1 for 1, RBI single in the second and a walk in the first.
Bill update: top of the 7th, 2 outs. Porter for Wayne is with a full count, and 1 more strike for Ian Plumley, and Chattanville will escape Wayne with 2 runners on base, 1 at first, 1 at second.
1-0 fouled off, 1-1 to count to Caden Dickerson as Mann leads Tug Valley 5-4, but the Panthers hanging around. Mann unable to put any. It seems like every time Mann puts any kind of separation, Tug Valley comes right back. Dickerson swings and hits a chop to second. Lackey will go to second for one. On the first throw off the bag, not in time, as Dickerson and the first baseman collide, and no, as the throw was off the line, Dickerson collided as he overran the bag, which you're allowed to do in high school baseball, and one away after the force at second.
And that's a big force out there for Mann to limit try to get the outer out, and they did on that fielder's choice, and that is huge for the Mann Hillbillies, and now
Landon Cantrell
for
in.
Tug Valley, and Landon Cantrell.
Yeah, Landon Cantrell in, and Chapmanville finishes the
game.
2-1. They will play Logan tomorrow. Cantrell now batting for Messer, as we, kind of presumed Cantrell he will stay into the game, and we'll see where he goes. Is it second? Is it third? Does DeRace move to third? We'll see what happens. Cantrell chops one back up the middle. It's fielded by the second baseman, who fields. That's going to be an out. He was making a transfer. He stepped on the bag and went to throw to first base. So it's another fielder's choice, as the second baseman couldn't get a grip on the ball. That ball apparently must have a lot of moisture on it out there, as the pitcher, Gage Witt, will get a new baseball from the home plate umpire. So 2 away, and John McCoy, the batter.
And that ball, just like one of those cartoons, just slipped out of the hands of Connor Lackey as he was going to make the throw. And luckily, that keeps another runner on base with 2 outs now. And it's now coming into closing time for maybe Gage Witt. I don't know how they're going to ride with him. With him hot, I would keep riding with it. Coach Hall wanted to use.
He's going as long as he can go. He's throwing and pitching him in. Now, if Mann starts getting hits and runners on, you may see a pitching change from Tug Valley. McCoy ahead in the count, 2-0. First pitch outside, second pitch outside as well. And now McCoy looking to continue the inning for Hunter Gibson. Pitch. Well, before the pitch, a throw over, nothing doing as Cantrell's back in safely.
Yeah, Cantrell's back in safely, and Gage Witt just trying to keep the runner at first in bay. You don't want him to get into scoring position, but a base hit here for John McCoy can make this a big ball game.
Pitch swung on and fouled, 2-1 the count, as that one bounces over the fence into the dugout on the third base side, and scattered a couple more hillbillies down there.
the hillbillies are getting a workout in the dugout with all the foul balls coming right at them. They're having to scatter from there.
Pitch on the way, swung on and hit down the line, but foul. So McCoy got out in front of it and pulled it to left field. If he lines that one out, he may have a 2-run home run.
Oh, it was close. It was close for that one to stay a little bit, try to stay fair, but it didn't. It just started changing fouls now, and it's just one of those breaks that Mann just wants that big hit to really try to bust this game open against Tug Valley. Tug Valley's doing a great job hanging in here.
And rain continues to fall here at William Tootie Carter Field, but Daniel, when you look outside at the rain here from the press box, it's a sideways rain. It's not a rain that's coming straight down. So it's rain inside as Cantrell takes off for second. He'll have it as the pitch is in the dirt. So that's a stolen base for Landon Cantrell. 3-2 the count to John McCoy, and a runner in scoring position for the Hillbillies. Big run out there at second base.
Big run out there, and we know John McCoy can hit the ball as he he's close. He knows that he can hit one. He's waiting for it. He's timing it up. This is his senior year, and he wants to have a bang right here against Tug Valley.
Pitch is taken for a call, strike 3, and for the second time tonight, McCoy is caught looking on strikes as Tug Valley gets out of the fourth inning. Mann will get one hit, leave one runner stranded. As we've played 4 from William Tootie Carter Field, Mann leads Tug Valley 5-4. This is the Class Single A Region 4 Section 1 baseball tournament on WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. Top of the fifth inning, Connor Lackey leads off for the Tug Valley Panthers. Fouls the first pitch off, 0-1. Second pitch swung on, hit into left field for a single as Gibson gets over, cuts it off to hold. Lackey to a single. That's his second hit of the evening. He's now 2 for 3. And Daniel, fourth straight inning, Tug Valley has the base runner, leadoff batter aboard, should say, as the Panthers continue to chip away at the Mann lead. They were down 2-0 in after one inning. They scored a run in the second, cut it to 2-1. Mann went up 5-1 after scoring 3 in the second. Tug Valley came back with 2 in the third to cut it to 5-3. And then Tug Valley gets a run in the fourth, 5-4. And it's all started because the leadoff hitter has got on. That leadoff hitter that has got on for the Panthers to start the inning the 3 previous times has came around to score. So we'll be 4 for 4 here as Dakota Uten steps to the plate. Uten's 1 for 1, single and scored back in the second, and an intentional walk back in the third as we get a pitch runner, it looks like, over there at first base. As I believe, can't quite make out the number. I'm thinking it's Hayden Brumfield, as it looks like it could be 15, could be a 13. It's Dakota Uten fouls the pitch off. 0-1 count.
I think you are right. I think that is number 13, Hayden Brumfield, for the Tug Valley Panthers running. And Bill, Tug Valley, this is what even though they're down, this is what they wanted. They're chipping into this game. They're putting pressure on Mann, and it's working right now. They're getting Mann flustered right now, and it's starting to just get Mann worried right now because Tug Valley's hitting the ball. This sectional play for Tug Valley has been a dream for them. They're hitting the ball right. They knocked off Sherman. They almost knocked off Buffalo, and they're within 1 run here in the top of the fifth against Mann.
Pitch on the way, swung on and fouled. As thought that was going to get our PA guy up here, Dylan Morris.
He didn't even flinch. That tells you the football player in Dylan Morris. He's seen Morris coming at him.
Nah, he didn't flinch. I was quick to turn around and make a play.
At first, I thought you were going to come on my line.
I did, yeah. I nearly hit you when I turned around as if I was fielding it to throw it back to the pitcher. I nearly got you in the noggin. So, 0-2 the count, pitch on the way, ball outside, 1-2 the count.
And, Bill, that rain is now starting to come down, and it's getting
heavier and heavier. But, good news, the field's still in playable shape, but if it keeps raining like this coming down, it's going to become an issue with the grip of the ball, and right now footing's not much of a concern, so we could see a delay if it keeps coming down. And now Compton, as I say that, Compton hits Uten with the pitch, and now first and second for the Panthers with nobody out here in the top half of the fifth inning.
Bill, we're dry. We're feeling good. Other than the window might be opening here, but we're dry. But it's just wet all around here. The rain is still coming. It's starting to drip off of the press box, and with that slippery wetness of the ball, it just hit Uten, and now we're getting close to, maybe the game could be potentially stopped with the wetness of the ranges if it continues to get this heavy.
Yeah, it's ball 1 to Elijah Flutie, who is 1 for 2, RBI single in the second, and a fielder's choice back in the fourth. And he takes a pitch for a ball, 2-0 now the count, as Compton still had a little bit on that fastball there, but just unable to get the call as he just missed. So 2-0 the count, nobody out, first and second for Tug Valley. Mann leading 5-4, pitch on the way, swung on, chopper, hit to first. Dickerson fields, throws over to Compton, and it gets by. Coming in to score the tying run will be the pitch runner, Brumfield, as Tug Valley has tied this game 5-5 on the air throw from Dickerson. It got past Compton, and this Tug Valley crowd is into it. And now I think we've got time called. We may have a delay here. The umpires are coming out talking. Don't know what they're discussing, but appears to be nothing, as now they will go back. So the go-ahead run is at third base.
Yeah, I don't know what the stoppage was. The rain is getting heavier and heavier.
You're Tug Valley. You want this game to continue on because you don't want nothing stopping your momentum right now.
No.
They've got all the momentum in the world. Man, kind of shell-shocked right now, but the Hillbillies have had opportunities to get runners in. They're just leaving them on base. Now the runner breaks, pop up on the infield. Thompson calls for it. Now it looks like he might have lost. Now he has lost, and it drops, and Tug Valley's going to take the lead as that ball just kept carrying into the outfield. Thompson camped under it, but it kept carrying and carrying until it eventually dropped for a single, and Tug Valley now leads 6-5 as Dakota Hooten comes in to score from third with the go-ahead run.
Right now, this weather condition is really getting to the batters. It looked like Thompson just couldn't. When you're looking up in the air and that rain is dropping, it can blind you for something with all that drainage coming to your eyes. Thompson just lost it, and it got a bloop single, and Tug Valley's got all the momentum in the world right now.
Austin Smith, the batter, swings at the first pitch, fouls it off. First and second, nobody out for Tug Valley. 6-5 lead, Mann, 6-5 lead Tug Valley, top of the fifth inning. Pitch swung on and fouled, 0-2.
And, Bill, how long do you think this game will keep going? The Tug Valley wants this game to keep going on forever right now.
I think as long as the rain is, if the rain's coming in sideways, I don't think it's much of an issue as it is as it's coming down because the playing surface is still intact. Once you start losing the playing surface, I think we see a delay as Smith fouls the pitch off again. 0-2 remains the count. And getting back to our point about Mann leaving runners on. 8 runners on through 4 innings, and the Hillbillies, look at it by my count, I believe 5 of those 8 have been left on in scoring position.
Yep, and just blown opportunities there, and Tug Valley is getting everything to fall for them right now. They're just on a high right now. It's hard.
Pitch swung on. It's going to take a Sunday hop to Thompson at second. He'll flip to Cantrell for the force out. Cantrell can't get the ball out of his glove to attempt a double play, so fielder's choice runner from second. Flutie moves up to third base, so one away for Tug Valley in the top half of the fifth inning.
And now that brings up the pitcher for Tug Valley now, Gage Witt, who he's done a great job coming in for Elijah Flutie on the mound in relief, and now he's coming up to the plate, and he's looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 2 today.
Pitch taken inside for a ball by Witt as the runner advances to second base. No throw by the Hillbillies, so defensive indifference. And 1-0 the count.
Bill, that's just the wetness of the ball is just starting to get to these players. I don't know how long this could really take, honestly. I mean, like you said, as long as the field surface is playable, you can still go. But I just don't know if, how long will this go. I'm just waiting. It's like a clock for me. I'm waiting.
Witt swings and misses. 1-1 to count. Swung on. Hit to short. Thompson will field. Go across the diamond, but coming in to score will be Flutie. And Tug Valley, with their third run in the inning, now goes ahead 7-5.
Mann fans are getting worried right now. Gage Witt gets an RBI on a ground out, 6-3 ground out, but he gets that RBI, and that's another run for Tug Valley. They lead 7-5. And Bill, this is starting to get worrisome for the Mann fans. If they can't get something going, Witt's doing a good job on the mound, and Tug Valley's got all the momentum at the plate.
So 2 outs, the batter. Chandler Copley squares the bunt, pulls back, takes the ball outside. Well, the worst thing you want to see is if your man is to come off the field and the umpires make the decision to pull the players off the field. Personally, I don't think that would be right for Mann to have to play through this and then to come out in the field and Tug Valley not go out. We'll see what the decision is as the ball is bunted. May have been actually a double bunt, and there'll be no throw. Actually, they're going to call the runner out, and they're going to say that it hit him as he was coming out of the box. So will it be a foul ball? Did it hit him in the box? It will be a foul ball. So, yeah, my suspicions were right. As Copley squared the bunt, that ball came up and hit him in the box. So foul ball, 1-1 to count. Again, just like we saw earlier with Copley at third base, Compton fielded the ball and tried to make a play at first base, and not knowing that the ball was going to be called foul. He didn't wait for the umpire to make the call. He tried to get the out himself. And the ball is called foul. So 1-1 to count. Runner, that's Ashton Smith, has to go back to third base. Pitch on the way is called strike 2, 1-2 the count.
Good placement there for Compton. And that's big right there, because if that ball didn't hit him in State Fair, Tug Valley would have had another run, 8-5. So now Compton needs to settle in.
Well, if that ball hits him when he's out of the box, it's an out.
Mm-hmm.
And that pitch gets behind him as that was – it did hit him. So I was going to say that it was that would have been a 2-2 count. Don't know why he was going to first, but the ball does hit him. That's a break for Mann, because Smith would have scored easily from third base on the pitch.
Yeah, it would have. That ball just got a little bit out of the way, and now umpire's going to come talk. Looks like he's going to go talk to the mound and see if
he's going to check the mound, see if it's okay, see if it's playable. Looks like it's okay. Again, if Mann gets out of this inning, now the rain's coming down. We're going to see a delay shortly, and it may be here when Mann gets out of the inning. I don't know why they're waiting. I mean, if this rain keeps falling like it is, now the rain, as we mentioned, it's not blowing sideways now. It's coming straight down.
Yeah, it's coming down, and it's coming heavy. For luckily the people who are listening at home, you're dry.
Pitch swung on, hit in the left field. Left fielder Gibson is there, and he'll make the catch, and they will send the teams to the dugout. I don't necessarily agree with this decision. Mann had to play through these conditions, and, as long as it's still going on, but the rain is getting a little heavier, so we are in a suspended situation right now. The decision of how long this lasts is going to be determined on how the field holds up. So Tug Valley is retired on the flyout in the top of the fifth inning. The Panthers played 3 runs on 2 hits. There was 1 hillbilly error, 1 runner left on base. So for the time being, we are in a holding pattern here as the Hillbillies and Panthers are in a rain delay situation with Tug Valley leading 7-5 in the bottom of the 5th inning. So we'll come back after this quick 2-minute break, and we'll update you on some scores and some other sectional news and notes across the state of West Virginia. So this is the Class Single A Region 4 Section 1 baseball tournament on WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. Back at William Tootie Carter Field, bottom of the 5th inning, game currently in a rain delay. Tug Valley plates 3 runs in the top of the 5th inning, and Daniel, we mentioned that Tug Valley, they've not given up. We mentioned it like a cat with 9 lives. They've kept chipping away. Now they got a 7-5 lead on the Mann High School Hillbillies.
And it's all due to the hitting of Tug Valley. And really, if you want to throw this out, Bill, it's due to the error throws that Mann is making. They have made some error throws that you shouldn't be making. Just eat the ball. Don't force anything, because when they force things, it got out of hand, and Tug Valley was able to capitalize on those. And that's how Tug Valley has this 7-5 lead. And it's just not been working for Mann. Anything that could have gone wrong, Mann got off hot start. They had a 5-1 lead on Tug Valley, and then Tug Valley has now scored 6 unanswered runs in this ball club. And here in the bottom of the 5th, Mann is supposed to come to bat, but it don't look like anybody's coming to bat right now, as the rain is hitting hard and soaking everything. And from looking at the forecast, it doesn't look like it's lighting up anytime any soon. But they're going to stick it out just in case they do.
For the time being, I mean, we can look out at the field. The playing surface is in great shape. We're not losing the playing surface. There's a couple spots out there that's getting dark, but for the most time, we've not lost the surface yet. So as long as, if this rain was to move out rather quickly and we can get what little field maintenance needs to be done, we could get back to baseball. But, it's that moisture part, the rain, that just keeps coming down. And we mentioned it throughout our broadcast, Daniel, as the Hillbillies, we mentioned about this rain. This rain's been ongoing for probably about 3 innings. It's been kind of a mix of a drizzle to a medium to a heavy, but it's been raining sideways. It's kind of been raining at not at the face of the players out there, thankfully, or otherwise we would have had a delay sooner. But now it's coming straight down, and that's why we have delay. I mean, as long as it was raining sideways, we could still be playing right now.
Yeah, it was going sideways. The wind was blowing it sideways, and now it's just coming down hard. It's just Mother Nature's decided I'll just tease you with some light drizzle and stuff. Maybe nothing. It looks like the sun was coming out, and we was going to have we could get the innings in before it really came down. But then Mother Nature changed her mind, and it started to come out now, and
it continues to get heavier and heavier as we get. We look out to left field, and left field. It's the heaviest of the rain is in left field, and it's like it's raining down in some parts of the field, and you look and it looks like it's raining sideways. But if it keeps this up, we're going to lose the playing surface before too long. But you're just joining us on WVOW. Let's go ahead and recap how we got here. And things started in the first inning for the Mann High School Hillbillies. They played 2 runs in the first inning, as the Hillbillies got 2 runs on 1 hit. They took a 2-1. They took a 2-0 lead. Jace Aggins got it all going when he was able to score on an errant throw of the pitcher, and Colton Miller also scored on the same play. That made it 2-0. Man, Tug Valley answered with a run in the top of the second inning to cut it to 2-1. Then in the second inning, bottom of the second, this is where we really thought the tide was going to change. Mann was going to run off with this game, as they took advantage of 2 Tug Valley errors. They got 3 hits in the innings. They plated 3 runs. They were ahead 5-1 going into the top of the third, and it looked like that Mann was going to run off with it. But again, Mann has yet to score since those 3 runs in the second inning. And Daniel, since then, Tug Valley plated 2 1/3 to cut a 5-1 deficit to 5-3. They got a run in the 4th to make it 5-4, and then top of the 5th, they plated 3 runs to go ahead 7-5. And again, like you mentioned, it's all because those 4 innings that Tug Valley has scored, the leadoff runner has reached base and come around to score in each inning.
They have, and when the leadoff runner gets on base, it was like the magic stick for Tug Valley to get those runs, and it all had to do with being patient at the plate, finding your pitch, hitting the ball, and getting on base anytime you can, because that's what Coach Hall has preached to his boys. His team was struggling earlier part of the season. They were hanging in ball games, and they just couldn't get the games. They couldn't get the runners on the base pass as much as they wanted to, and they couldn't get them to come across the plate. And this postseason, Tug Valley has turned it on. They have been able to get runners on base and stay in ball games instead of getting blown out. And you have to give credit to this Tug Valley coaching staff. He is making they're making Tug Valley's work for everything they have, and it's proven. They almost upset Buffalo. They upset and knocked out the Sherman Tide, and now they have a 7-5 lead on the number 2 seed, Mann High Hillbillies. So give credit to that coaching staff of Tug Valley for believing in their boys and having them playing at the right time.
7 runs, 8 hits, 4 errors for Tug Valley. The Panthers have left 5 runners on base for the Mann High School Hillbillies. 5 runs, 5 hits. They've committed 3 errors, 8 runners left on base. Daniel, of the 8 runners that Mann has left on base, 5 of the 8 left in scoring position.
And that's not going to win you ball games when you leave runners in scoring position and in those critical situations. You just can't have the opportunity to bring those guys in if you're going to leave them stranded. And it's just not working right now for Mann when having all those runners in. It's just been the cold-blooded killer for Mann. If you can't, one thing that's going to lose you ball games in baseball, you got to have offense. And when you get runners on base, that's great, but you've got to be able to bring them in. And Mann, like you said, left 8 runners on base, and 5 of those was in scoring position. Well, that could be 5 more runs. It could be a 10-7 ball game if they could have got those runners in on scoring positions on any opportunity that they got. So, Mann, blown opportunities there, and it's coming back to haunt them. As Bill, I cannot see at all outside. This rain is really coming down.
Well, I'm looking right at second base out here between second and first, and there's starting to be a little streak out there. What looks like could be some water that's forming out there. So, again, if it keeps raining like this, it's only a matter of time before, the playing surface starts to lose its color, starts to lose its shape out there, and these puddles start forming as, they're trying to form out there at second base. In fact, I do see a little bit of a puddle right now forming at second base and on the edge of the infield, on the edge of the outfield grass there at second base as well. Everywhere else I look, it's still in good shape. However, you do see that brown start to get a little darker, almost like a clayish color when the dirt starts to soften up out there.
It's starting to soften up, and it's just.
And, we're near the press box. I don't know if you can hear it on our radio station or
it's coming down.
Or over on Miller Sports Broadcasting on the YouTube channel. We can hear it hitting the roof here, and we can hear it behind us just coming down. It sounds like that it's literally
raining
pouring buckets behind us, as this is definitely not what you wanted if you were, say, you're Buffalo. I mean, obviously, the rain out wasn't going to hurt anything because whoever won this game was going to be able to bring their ace back tomorrow against the Bison. So Lackey and Thompson's going to be available. And now we look at that tarp. This thing coming down heavier and heavier. It's only a matter of time, folks, before this game is called. And what we're trying to do, we're going to try to keep it here until we get official word. And, again, just a matter of time, maybe a matter of seconds before the umpires come out after having to check the radar and see how long it's going to take. Now you look at third base, Daniel, and there's puddles forming over there. It's getting bigger over at second base.
This game's going to get called.
Yeah, we're just waiting official word from the umpires because we don't want to send it back to the station and some kind of miracle happens that we do finish this game. But, again, the coaches agreed that a rain out wouldn't affect any kind of the pitching rules. But with the not being played on Sunday, they agreed that Sunday would count as a day of rest for the pitchers. So if this game would have never got underway and they started, say they played tomorrow, Thompson and Lackey still would have been ineligible to throw due to the rules that they had put in place for the sectional tournament at their sectional meetings. Now, if they would have got rained out Saturday, and played on Monday, then Thompson and Lackey would have been able to come back because of the day of rest on Sunday.
Yeah, and that's big. That's going to be huge because both Mann and Tug Valley, their season's on the line, and you couldn't get more suspenseful than what the game was going on now. And now you add in the rain in all this, and this game's going to have to get pushed back because of this weather.
You add in the rain and people walking up. I don't know if that was, Dylan walking up the steps here, Dylan Morris, our PA guy, or if that was actually a rumble of thunder out there. Because it sounded just like a rumble of thunder behind us. So I don't know. I don't know what it was. Maybe Dylan can confirm with us. Or it could be somebody underneath us. It was somebody. It might have been somebody underneath us that was making some kind of noise. But literally, we don't know with these conditions. And now you look at the field and
it's wet.
I just don't see any possible way. We're just waiting for the official word. But Daniel, if we got baseball tomorrow, we're going to be on the island. So we might as well, during this delay, as we're trying to wait the official word from the umpires, go ahead and preview our game tomorrow. Chapmanville and Logan. Chapmanville, number one team in Class AA, number one team in the section in Region 4, Section 2, and the Tigers in the losers bracket had to come out of the bracket after being sent to the losers bracket Thursday night when Logan won 13-3 in 5 innings. The Wildcats get to host the sectional championship. Well, talk about that matchup tomorrow. It should be an exciting one.
Bill, where do you start with that matchup? That is round 4 between the Tigers and the Wildcats, with Logan already having a 2-1 season series advantage over the Tigers this season. And really, you have to look at all 3 games on how they have been played out for Chapmanville and Logan. Game 1 down at the Roger E. Gertz Field. Chapmanville. Logan made the first error on the first batter to Luke Knott. Dawson Maynard overthrow Connor Lowe at first base, and that's all it started. It started with the error throw from Dawson Maynard to give Chapmanville that momentum. They grabbed a 1-0 lead, then they grabbed a 2-0 lead, and then they went to 2-1 with Logan, and then Chapmanville opened the floodgates, having an 8-1 lead over Logan. And then the final score would be 9-3. Chapmanville giving Logan one of its worst loss on the season, and it's actually the worst loss in state for the Logan Wildcats. They were mercy ruled already this season, but that was down at the beach against a lot of Division I Florida New York players.
They lost one game 15-0 in 3 innings to a Virginia team that was just absolutely. They played 3 Virginia teams. That seemed like every team they played got better and better. That first team they played, they said they had about 5 or 6 Division I athletes on their team, I believe, and
only lost by
they were in the game until some late runs in that contest made it look worse than what it was. But that's why Coach Gertz takes his team down there, to see good competition, to get better. Also, another thing that I think, and you look at it, at the beginning part of the year, Logan seemed to have some guys that had some arm issues. Ryan Roberts in general, and then you was relying on a freshman in Ivan Miller to pretty much throw him in the fire and get him going.
And now that on cross con,
now that they got the experience and their arm strength is building up, that's another thing I'd like to point. Connor Lowe the same way. Dawson Maynard, these guys haven't pitched a lot of innings for Logan. Coach Kevin Gertz has been careful at the middle part of his season with his staff by, having his starters go and throw X amount of pitches until he builds them up. Now this Logan pitching staff, the rotation looks very, very dangerous, and the arms are getting stronger and stronger, and you can tell that the velocity is just increasing with every game as we go on.
Yep, and it all has to do with the managing of the pitchers that Coach Gertz and Kevin and Roger has done.
And Coach Willis.
Coach Willis.
About him. Coach Willis.
Oh, my God. Coach Willis is a
huge coaches.
He was one of the best pitching coaches ever in the Logan High School. With all these great arms that come out of Logan, Coach Willis was at the helm, and now he's back with this group, and they have just improved. Like you said, Kevin Gertz was really worried about his arms coming in this season, and with the addition of Coach Willis coming back this year, the arms have really gotten better for Logan. As Bill, this is an interesting stat, and I've looked at it, and I've followed Logan all year. As a Logan grad, I have friends on the team. I'm friends with the parents and stuff. No Logan pitcher has actually gone over the pitch limit this entire season. None at all.
None at all, and that's a testament to the defense that's behind them. They're making plays. You're pitching to contact. They're getting in and out of the inning. I mean, look at for example, and we'll get back to. I want to go back to Coach Willis. He's got some college experience under his belt. Sumter, South Carolina, I believe, is where he was down there. Him and I think there's another Logan grad down there that was an assistant coach. I know there was a few of them. They got a few Logan County players to come down there and play for him at Sumter, and now Coach Willis is back, and he's making an immediate impact on that staff, and just wherever he goes. Who wouldn't want a guy like Coach Willis on your staff? He is phenomenal. With the pitchers, and we really saw the work that he done when Aiden Slack came in that 1 inning of work against Scott. When Slack was had high velocity going, was throwing strikes. Chapmanville game,
it got away from him.
Well, I don't want to necessarily say that it got away from the Chapmanville game, but Chapmanville game, he came in and he fed right into the Chapmanville batters. They love to hit fastballs, ain't no doubt about it. And they were coming in there and they were in a situation where they had to be aggressive, but you didn't want to be too aggressive. And they're a team that they're going to be a first pitch hitting team if the ball looks good to them. If the pitch looks good to them on the first pitch, they're going to be up there hacking, and that's how they've gotten to be where they are right now. They're 25-5 as Chapmanville, and they haven't changed hardly anything since the start of the year.
No, they haven't. I mean, it's just Chapmanville has been the same. They have not moved the lineup at all in the batting order. I mean, it's just
the top five's pretty much been the same, and 6 through 9 has been
same.
Pretty consistent as well. If they may have threw a kid in here and there that may have not been may have been playing the field, or a kid in the field they DH'd for and put another kid in that spot, but pretty much it's been the same 9 for Chapmanville all year. And the old adage goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Nope. Definitely. If it's not broken, do not fix it. That's why I get back to my pregame where I said I wear the same shirt for the past 2 years at the state tournament. If that ain't broken,
I'm just glad that you washed.
Yes, I washed it, but it wasn't the exact same shirt that I wore like on Saturday, and then I wore it back, or Friday I wore it back in on Saturday. No, it was a different shirt, but it's the 2 same shirts I wore on semifinals and then the finals for Logan, and it's one. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'll probably do it again, even though those things can't fit me. I've gained some pounds this past summer and this past fall. It could be, it could be ugly. I might wear it again. You never know. That's why I said it ain't broken. It don't fix it. But back to my point with with Chapmanville and Logan, how big this matchup is Logan felt the heartbreak for Chapmanville down at Roger E. Gertz Field. They got their revenge against Chapmanville, winning on a very close game, 5-3 ball game that really could have gone either way for both ball teams. And then you fast forward it to yesterday, Bill, where Logan, the only people that didn't shock how good Logan did was Logan. They knew what they had, and they knew what they can do. But for us, just how Logan just manhandled Chapmanville in the first 2 innings is just unbelievable, of how Chapmanville just how good they were really playing all the up. And then Logan just manhandled them, took them. First time Chapmanville got mercy ruled this entire season. And you have to look what Chapmanville's going through now. Yeah, they saved arms. They had to use Andrew Farley, and they had to use Ian Plumley tonight against Wayne, and they barely escaped Wayne on a 2-1 victory to move on to tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening at 1 o'clock. I will get that eventually. I will wake up before 1 o'clock. Afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon, excuse me. But now
I hope you wake up in time for the ball game tomorrow.
I'll just be calling the game in my sleep.
You'll be sleeping, and I'll be
You'll be making the money. I'll be
on the
sitting at
third
home.
base dugout by myself calling it tomorrow afternoon. But no, the question about that: who's the pressure on?
If you have,
let's break it down. Who's the pressure on? Chapmanville, number 1 team in the state.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the elimination round. 1 loss, they go home. Logan is sitting in the driver's seat, and a loss doesn't eliminate them. I mean, if they lose, they just fall in a situation that they've been the past 2 years in an elimination win-or-go-home situation to where they prevail and come back and win. But here's another thing to consider. Does home field really mean anything in this series? Because if Chapmanville was to win tomorrow, we get a winner-take-all game Monday at Ted Ellis Field because Chapmanville's the top seed. So now, to throw more, is there really any pressure on anybody to win? I mean, obviously, there is pressure on Chapmanville to win. You win or you go home. Logan, if you lose, okay, you know what, we still got another shot at them. They still got to beat us one more time. So,
really,
where's the pressure lie, you think? And then I'll get to my point, what I think the pressure is on one or the other. Is the rain is all but stopped here, but the couple of spots out there are going to need some.
It's going to need some work.
They're going to need some attendance. They're going to need some groundwork. I don't know how much turf it's going to take to fix those, but I'm sure they've got it. But now the question is, the outfield's in good shape. The outfield drains well as what it has in the past here at William Tootie Carter Field. But, the good news is there's not a lot of spots out there on the field that would require an abundance of turf, say. You just got a big spot at third and a big spot at second. Everything else just seems like little maintenance, and there's little puddles filming behind second base. But, back to the point of who the pressure may be on in the Logan Chapmanville game.
This might sound crazy, Bill, but I had to put the pressure on both teams for these 2 reasons.
I can see.
For Logan, okay, I'll start with Chapmanville first. For Chapmanville, you have now dropped your past 2 meetings with Logan. You dropped a close one, and then you dropped a blowout. And now you're 1 game away from from a season that these Tiger fans and Tiger players want to remember being wiped away. It almost happened twice in this postseason with Wayne the first time, and if it wasn't for a Brody Dalton big 2 RBI triple, and if Wayne could have got that 6th run home, it could have been a different ballgame. Chapmanville could have been eliminated early because then Chapmanville would have had to play Scott in the losers bracket. And then you look at yesterday, Chapmanville, it looked like the team was still home as how Logan just smacked them that hard. And Chapmanville, they just looked frustrated. They looked like nothing went right and nothing did go right. Everything started going right at the very end of the game, but it still wasn't enough to try to stop the mercy rule and force Logan to play again. And it just didn't look right for Chapmanville. So now, then you fast forward to tonight before the rain really hit. We didn't even know what the conditions were down at Ted Ellis Field. So the conditions could have been, almost just like this is not as bad. And you look at the contest, they only win that 2-1. And you have to think they barely survived Wayne. Wayne almost did it again to Chapmanville, almost knocked them out, and we could have had a Wayne and Logan sectional final down at Rodriguez Field, but now we're going to have a Chapmanville and Logan sectional final. Chapmanville gets 1 more shot at Logan, trying to beat them twice in a row, which is very hard to do with this senior class. As I said it before, this senior class is undefeated, 8-0 in sectional play. Either as a 1 seed or a 2 seed. The past 2 seasons, they were the 1 seed. This season, they're the 2 seed. So Chapmanville has all that pressure on them. Can they beat Logan twice, which is very hard to do with this Logan High Ball Club, with this senior leadership that they've had. And now you look to the Logan's pressure. You took care of Scott. You raced the demons that you had with Griffin Miller and Scott, and you beat them 9-1. Then you lost to Jacob Topping early in the season. You erased those demons that you've had in the past with Topping honestly having his way on the mound with Logan, and now you beat him. You send him out early, just like you did with Miller. You sent him out around the 5th inning, and now you're looking at tomorrow. Last time these two teams met on that field, it was Chapmanville that got the victory. So Logan has that in their head, and it looks like every time in this game where both teams are on the road, the first team that bats always got off to that hot start. And Logan has to put in their head, they're going to have Maynard back. They're going to have everybody back for tomorrow. Chapmanville, they're going to more likely go with probably Braylon Moore or maybe Joey Canterbury.
They could have went with Moore today, and they didn't go with Moore. So I think basically what that states is that Moore is in line to get to start tomorrow. I know nothing is made official. We're not the coaching staff at Chapmanville. We're not the coaching staff at Logan. In fact, Coach Kevin Gertz told Joe Brocano with Metro News that when he was asked about, Lowe only throwing 42 pitches and having to require the day's rest and be allowed to come back on Saturday, Gertz was like, well, yeah, that's good, but, we didn't really think that. Not saying that I would throw Lowe, not saying that I would throw Miller. We'll sit down and talk about it as a coaching staff, and we will make a determination on what to do as a pitching staff. As the rain has, do believe that, if it's not stopped, it's all but stopped here at William Tootie Carter Field. And now some of the Mann High School players are going to the equipment room in the first base dugout with Jack Daniels, and they're going to start prepping this field up for try to get this game going. As both coaches want to get it going, both coaches want to finish this off and then possibly get back to action tomorrow. Now the umpires are coming out, and we'll have a discussion with the umpires, but I can see both points that you made about the pressure being on.
Well, I was want to finish this real quick. This is the final point I was want to make. Logan lost to Chapmanville at Logan, and who was the pitcher on that mound when Logan lost? Dawson Maynard. I'm just throwing this as a baseball fan and as a Logan High graduate. If you're in that situation, you have Maynard for tomorrow in the closing game of a sectional championship game in a big game, you're more likely going to throw Maynard. Last time Maynard was on that mound, Maynard lost to Chapmanville. They were able to hit off of Maynard. That could be pressure for Dawson Maynard. He's a senior. He's done it. He's been AA Player of the Year his sophomore year. He's been in the running for Player of the Year his junior year. He's in the running for Player of the Year this year. But that pressure for Dawson Maynard, can he erase that demon of the two losses? The two losses he's had on the mound was to Scott and Chapmanville at home. He erased one with Scott. Can he do it tomorrow with Chapmanville?
You hear a big cheer go up as the some players from the Mann High School. You look at Gavin Klein, you've got Jackson Ellis, Luke Haney, and trying to look and see who that one is there. I don't see the back of his jersey. I think that might be Bartram, maybe Gavin Bartram.
Yeah, that's a Gavin.
Some of the the reserves getting the turfus out, putting it out on the field where it needs to be. Daniel, I look out there as this field. As the umpires are going to take a look at it, and I guess they'll have the final say in whether this surface is playable or not. But you look at some of them puddles that are just now forming, it's like they've been soaked up out there in the infield dirt, and
this is going to take a lot of clay too.
Yeah, it'll take some turfus to get it ready, but we'll see, but I'm sure they've got plenty of it. They've not had to use a lot of it this year, to be honest. We've kind of had some dry conditions here, but about the pressure. Who was on the mound for Logan at Roger E. Gertz Field when Griffin Miller and Scott beat him?
Dawson Maynard.
Who was on the mound Tuesday when they avenged that loss?
Dawson Maynard.
Big time players.
Do big time plays. Yep, you're right. And that's why
I'm with you on that point about Maynard. I think he's a gamer. I think he wants the ball. Just Coach Kevin Gertz give him the ball. Easy for me. If he goes to Coach Gertz and tells him, "Say, I want the ball. I want Chapmanville. I want this sectional championship," Coach Gertz popped it.
It's all yours. The keys to the keys to the car is all yours, and that's how Maynard is. Honestly, when we was watching when I went back and rewatched the AA state championship game between Logan and Fairmont, the announcers were great announcers for him. One of them, his name's starting to skate. He does all the basketball. He's a great guy. He has the gray hair. He's He does it with Hoppy Kercheval.
Fred, you're talking about
Fred
Persinger.
Persinger.
The
legend, Fred Persinger. He was making a comment like, well, I don't know if I want to make Maynard on my all-state tournament team after he had a good pitching day against Shady Springs. And then all it took was one swing of the bat for Don back, and he says, all right, he made my all-tournament team. And that's what Dawson's done.
That's the hard part. And I know they kind of have a system in Charleston where they would like to take, 4 from
each team,
4 from one team, 3, and then maybe 2 from the other teams in a combination that they got. They like to try to make it as balanced as you can. There's sometimes some guys get left out, and you're wondering why. But again, I think it's all about the time and the situation of the game, and a lot of times guys might have hits after the ballots are taken up. That's nothing. And being on the part of the media, I know basically, basketball, they take up the media ballots for all-state tournament about the end of the third quarter. And, if somebody has a big fourth quarter, you're sitting there and you've got a spot open. You want to put it on a kid in the Rayard, and somebody might have that you've got 2 players there in the championship game and has a bigger game. I mean, there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's just the way that it is. You got to get that all totaled up because you're kind of rushed for time. You can't just take them up at the end of the game or halfway through the fourth quarter or with even, the final minutes of the fourth quarter. You can't really do that because you're stressed to get everything in. You're on a time schedule and you don't want to fall behind and possibly be delayed where you got to play on a Sunday or not getting in and maybe have to play another state championship game at another site because those other venues are locked up. But, again, the pressure point,
let's hear your pressure points with
Chapmanville is the number 1 team.
They are.
They're in the losers bracket. So some might say that they have no pressure on them.
Nope.
But they also have this, that cloud hanging over their head. Number 1 team, 25-5, and if you don't get to Charleston after having such a great season, some might view this season as a failure, which I found farce. I mean,
no, it's never a failure.
It's not a failure. They've had a great year.
It's just a tough section, not region, section for them.
They're really, to me, Chapmanville just go out there and play that game like there's no pressure on them. Mm-hmm. Now, if Chapmanville falls behind early like they did Thursday night, they could be in for a long afternoon. Mm-hmm. Now, on Logan's side, they have that game where they can fall back on and say, well, okay, if they beat us, then we got to go. But then it shifts to Ted Ellis Field.
Yep.
So I think, to me, there may be a little bit of pressure on Logan, of course, because they're going for a three-peat. Mm-hmm. It's not easy to three-peat. And we saw last year they pretty much had an easy road to the state tournament. There was one flaw in the Fairmont game. They got up big and Fairmont closed back in, but Logan took over in the late innings. So Logan didn't really face any pressure in the 2 state tournament games like they did the first time when they had to come back from, to winning in the bottom of the inning and walk off Herbert Hoover after Herbert Hoover came back and tied the game, as we have an umpires meeting with the coaches, and they're discussing everything right now. Don't have an official word right now, but as soon as we get it, we'll pass it along to you. But also, I think if you get to the game 3, pressure may be on both teams. Mm-hmm. But let's say Chapmanville goes out and does to Logan what Logan did to them on Thursday night and beats them in 5 innings or worse. Then you go to Ted Ellis Field. I think pressure might be on Logan.
Yep, it is going to be on Logan because after that, really that blowout win yesterday against Chapmanville, Logan.
And another thing about it, they can bring Topping back.
They
on
can.
Monday.
They can, and Topping.
And he's eager to get out there.
Yeah, Topping wants his revenge. Topping is he felt like the first game he was on cloud 9, and then after tomorrow he had that sour taste in his mouth where Logan just absolutely just smacked Chapmanville from the get-go. We saw the 4 innings run inning come from Logan. We've seen that in the past. Even when Logan was still in their slumps, they were still putting up runs. But then what shocked us the most is how the second inning fell apart as Logan got all their runs with 2 outs on the board. Chapmanville could not, with a metal detector and everything in the world, try to find that 3rd out. They couldn't, and all it took was just one pop-up to end the inning, and but it was already 11-0. And Chapmanville was just shell-shocked from all that. They just didn't believe that it happened so fast, and that's how good this senior class for Logan has been. They can put it on anytime. I saw this senior class absolutely put up 15 runs in one inning against the Polka Dots their sophomore years. So this Logan team can know how to put up runs, and when they're playing at the hot time, they are really hard to beat. And now, like you said, with that pressure going back to Logan, if Logan doesn't win this game here, yes, 100%, the pressure goes on Logan to try not to get eliminated, because I mentioned this. Logan is undefeated in the sectional play. I don't want to jinx anything, but it's true. They're 8-0. This senior class, 8-0, never lost a sectional game. And
just the regional game.
Yeah.
The first game of the regional.
Yeah, first game. Yeah, they're 0-2
in game 1s of the regionals, and they've come back. I don't know. Maybe they feel better playing like that. Maybe they feel better under
backs
the pressure.
Against the wall.
Because backs against the wall. Because in those 2 games, and again, this goes back to probably the depth of the pitching. But in those 2 games, those games, 2 and 3 of the regional finals, seems like they're not even close, or Logan's never threatened.
Nope, they're never threatened. And then you got to look at the regional games where everything they've all lost by 1 run in those regional games. They lost 5-4 to Point Pleasant in 2021. Lost 3-2 to Sissonville, and it's just it's like game 1 just. They's like, okay, have game 1. We'll take game 2 and game 3 when it matters the most. And they did. They put it on in game 2. They had to go on the road to beat the Point Pleasant and Sissonville, and they did. And then game 3, they did what they needed to do to win in those 2 games. So Logan, they've always liked to play in the back at the back of the wall. And Bill, I've noticed, I've been in the Logan High locker room. Sometimes I'll talk to the players every once in a while, get them ready up before a game. Everybody has this poster in their locker room. I still see it. It's up in some of the locker room. It's the 2021 preseason baseball poll where Logan wasn't even. And we got an update with the umpire, but I'll finish with
go ahead and finish your thought, and I'm going to get to my thought about what's going on right now, because it's not looking too promising.
No, it doesn't. But in 2021, Logan didn't receive a vote. They weren't even in the top 10 in the preseason. They felt like Logan was the best team that year, and they were. They went on. They did what they needed to do. They had the pitching depth, and they won the state championship 2021. But they kept their poster because that's when people thought about that senior class. They thought, well, we weren't good enough to be ranked, and now we're winning. We're the most unbeatable team. They still play with the chip on their shoulder. Even when they're number 1, they still play with that chip on their shoulder that people didn't believe in them at first, and now that they're winning, everybody believes in them.
Well, as we've been sitting here going through the broadcast, the bags of turfus that were on the field have since been removed, and we don't have no official word, but it looks like the umpires have their notebook out making notes, and I guess the only thing that we're going through is a matter of what kids would and wouldn't be ineligible when this game does resume, and it looks like it won't be tonight. So again, we haven't got no official word. We'll try to get that for you. We've got Jared McCormick up here with us with the Williamson Daily News covering this for both Williamson and the Logan Banner. We got the athletic director out on the field, the Big O, Orlando Washington, who, Daniel wanted to take his opportunity. I was hoping to get this in on the broadcast, and now it's a perfect opportunity. I wish the Big O a happy birthday. Today happens to be his birthday, and he's out there probably working harder than what he has during any baseball game this season with the weather. So
now, Bill, did he tell you his age, or he's going to tell you I'm still 22?
Well, I'm not going to say my age on the air, but he graduated a year ahead of me, and I was a year behind him. So, possibility we could be same age, or he could be 1 year older.
And they're still never. You're only as old as how you feel, and for Orlando, he feels young as can be. He may be up there in age, but he still feels young as he's like a 22-year-old can go out there and still probably dunk a basketball or catch a football.
And I just got word that our Jared McCormick's sidekick Willie Davis. It's his birthday today, and he wasn't ashamed to tell me that he turned 54 today. So, Willie. He's
Happy birthday.
Anybody that's been around Mingo County, he's been, he's always it seems like every Mingo County sporting event, and he's out and about with the media, with Jared, even Kyle Loveren when Kyle was back at the Williamson Daily News covering sports. He's just one of them good guys that you like seeing around the sports, but. Bags of turf have been put up, and it appears this game is being officially called. And now, Daniel, you got to think all that momentum that Tug Valley has, they've now got to sit on it for at least a day, maybe 2 days. Maybe this don't get resumed. Maybe they don't pick this back up until Monday. But I got to think that now Mann's going to have to sit and think about that a while, that when this game does resume, may see some hungry hillbillies, and the kids that pitching rules. I think the kids that were ineligible for this game cannot come back and pitch when play does resume.
Yeah, they can come back, and this is just one of those just unfortunate like situations that had to happen. We thought maybe this game would have got in before the rain really came, but then the forecast did predict it around this time, and it showed up around this time, and it put a delay on the hot streak that Tug Valley had, and now with Mann trailing 7-5 going into the top of the fifth or bottom of the fifth inning, they got it. And like you said, they're going to probably be more hungry now that they feel like this game could be the game that ends their season, ends Jace Atkins' career for Mann. And Jace Atkins had a really solid career for Mann High School, and along with these other seniors, Caden Dickerson, John McCoy, Colton Miller, they've had a very solid careers for the Mann High School Hillbillies. And before we continue, we want to send congratulations to Justin Turner of his tennis girls team finishing runner-up in Class AA Single A State Tennis Tournament. Congratulations to those girls for the tennis tournaments as they finish runner-up in this year's tennis tournament.
Very good job by the Logan tennis team. Of course, Charleston Catholic won it. They pulled the shocker 7 seed in the tournament. First time that they have done the team competition. Charleston Catholic, the 7 seed, knocked off the 2 seed Chapmanville in the first round, 4-3 in 7 games to get to the semifinals and then eventually get to the state championship. Otherwise, we could have had a all Logan County final for the first year of the state tennis tournament, the first year that they did the bracketed format with the teams.
Oh, man, that would have been something that had an all Logan County
final. Rivalry,
yes, of all things. And that just goes back to baseball. Man, the top best 2 teams in the state are Chapmanville and Logan, and it's only sad that one of them has to come out of the section. Not region, section, as both teams are well deserving of being at Gomar Park and playing for a state championship, and it's just sad that both teams has to go through this. One of them has to come out right now. Logan is in the driver's seat looking to finish it off tomorrow.
Here's what I'd like to see. If we're going to stick with the four teams in the region and the teams advancing out, we've got a double elimination tournament the way that it is. We've got a best-of-3 regional series format. Why don't we just get rid of them? Why don't we just have the entire region and go double elimination? Why don't we just do that? And then, if you have, Chapmanville, Mann, or Chapmanville and Logan meeting in the regional finals, then, hey, so be it. Why don't we do it?
It's possible. I mean, I like the basketball idea. I wish we could have 8 teams in baseball as we see what we do in college.
You have some fields where you could do that. Maybe you could play some. You've got some turf fields. Charleston's now turf.
Charleston Catholic's field's
turf. You got Buffalo. You've got Gomart Park. Maybe you can play them and then come together for a championship Saturday. All the teams come together and play. But I do think it's not long before 4 classes comes to baseball,
and all three county teams are in different classes, and where they can all be represented
Perhaps.
in the state, just like basketball and well, football. It'll go to that eventually, but we were lucky to have all three teams in the county for football make it. Chapmanville was the only team to make it for basketball, and for baseball, only two teams could be guaranteed for baseball, with Mann making out single A, and Chapmanville and Logan making it out in double A.
We're looking to get official word here. I just happened to text one of the coaches. I'm waiting for a reply back. So as of right now, this game tonight between the Mann High School Hillbillies and the Tug Valley Panthers has been suspended in the bottom of the fifth inning. Tug Valley leads 7-5. When play resumes, the Mann Hillbillies will come to bat in the bottom of the fifth inning. The plan is to continue this game at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow. 6:30 p.m. Saturday evening. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to bring you the conclusion of this broadcast, as I think we had, plans to bring you a possible regional champion or a sectional championship if Mann was hosting, but when that went out, when that went by the wayside on Wednesday evening, those plans were since switched to something else. And to clarify things, there's a lot of things that go into situations to get these games on the air. It's all about the ad placement in the radio. It's alerting the different people. And if we don't already have it in the plans for the weekend, folks, there's really not much that we can do. But, for the time being, this game will be played at 6:30 p.m. So we will try to, keep you updated. Again, weather's in the forecast. It may be pushed back until Monday. And, if possible, if we don't have a game on Monday, we have a time slot for Monday if, we do have a game on that day. Again, that's depending on what happens with the Class AA Region 4 Section 2 Championship, Logan and Chapmanville tomorrow. If there's a winner-take-all game, we would definitely have that game for you Monday afternoon or Monday evening at 6 p.m. at Ted Ellis Field. But this game, again, has been suspended in the bottom of the fifth inning. Hillbillies coming to bat in the bottom of the fifth with Tug Valley leading 7-5. That will conclude our broadcast tonight of the Class Single A Region 4 Section 1 tournament. We hope you can join us tomorrow afternoon for Logan and Chapmanville as the Tigers and Wildcats get together for the fourth time this season. And for Logan, a win, and they are the sectional champions for a third consecutive year. The Tigers can force a winner-take-all game on Monday at Ted Ellis Field with the win. Our pregame coverage will start at 12:50 on WVOW. First pitch scheduled for 1 p.m. Of course, with weather in the forecast, stay tuned for any updates on that game should it get pushed back or moved to Monday as well. But, for the time being, again, Tug Valley and Mann suspended bottom of the fifth inning. The Panthers lead the Hillbillies 7-5. For our studio engineer, Seth Estep, back in the WVOW studios, my color broadcast partner, Daniel Miller, I'm Bill Lusk, saying so long from William Tootie Carter Field. Hope you can join us tomorrow afternoon for Chapmanville and Logan in the Class AA Region 4 Section 2 Championship from Roger E. Gertz Field. So, I'd like to say good night to everybody, and stay tuned. Next on WVOW, Game 6, Golden State Warriors, LA Lakers. Can the Warriors force a Game 7 and put the pressure on the Lakers? Thank you for listening to the Class A Region 4 Section 1 baseball tournament on WVOW, Logan, West Virginia's premier sports station. Good night.